There you go. I gotta brush my hair nice and nice.
Prosciutto and mozzarella.
Where is that?
What?
Where's that from?
Giant eagle.
Let's say the store.
Not mini eagle.
Who?
Giant eagle.
Crap. Now the stalker's gonna be able to figure out where we live. Because she's fucking crazy.
KFC.
KFC.
Partnered with coffee. Because I love coffee.
Who did what?
I love coffee.
Who does?
Everybody.
Should heat it up.
I don't know if I need more than microwave safety.
Who?
What?
What? It should be. It's made of Viking skin.
Is human skin microwave friendly?
I don't know, but there's no such thing as a Viking.
Human skin.
Wouldn't they have been Scandinavians?
They were Scandinavian.
Yeah, I don't think they were Vikings, though.
They were Danes. They were Swedes.
So,
Norwegians.
they like to undermine women by calling them dames. What else did he call them?
Danes.
Chicks. Oh, Danes. All right, that's better.
Dame Judi Dench.
No, it's dame.
That's what I said. Dame.
You said dame.
No, I did not.
When?
Just now.
What did you say when I said dame and you said no? It's dame.
No, before when I was inside, I said the Danes, the Swedes,
Oh, okay, all right.
and then when we said, you know, the
Yeah.
woman thing, I was like, oh,
We're
Dame
recording
Judi
this.
Dench.
We're recording this. The power of proof. Oh.
Yeah. Good thing we have the proof. Ooh, he fixed the thing. Oh, we look so pretty now. Got these fancy lights. It's crazy. The people at in YouTube land can't see the fancy lights.
What
'cause
fancy lights?
those ones.
I know, it looks a little bit better.
It does look a lot bit
I'm
better.
gonna turn the light on and see if that helps with like a halo feel.
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's pretty.
Yours
cool.
looks great because of
Yours-
the way it's set up. Looks like I set it up completely.
You did set it up completely.
Yeah, that one I didn't really do the camera. I should have did the camera.
You want to move it?
No, I don't want you to touch it.
Piero's like, Dak, you can touch me.
The guy over here who recorded several parts in several songs and forgot to hit record. Yes, no, I'm good.
No, I did just one part in one song.
No, the other day you did it as well, and today you
Oh,
did
yeah.
it. Oh yeah. The guy with the photographic memory. I'm gonna tell him he's wrong.
Well, according to your mother, it's the photogenic memory.
Well, it does look good in photos.
It does.
That's just a fact. Oh my
Science.
God. What are we going to do today? This is, oh, by the way, if you aren't aware, today is JD's last day.
Again.
Somehow, like right before the show, he's like, please. And I'm like, no. And
He
he's like,
rehires me too.
then he just sits
some
here.
reason.
And I'm like, fine. The dog just burped. I just want to put that on record.
Oh, God, glad we got that on.
Woo. God damn. That's how JD sounds when he's playing guitar.
Redo. Ah, Jesus, we stopped shooting in the eye with that thing?
What thing?
With the laser.
What laser?
I'm going to murder you.
Listen, it would do us both well.
I know, because I would not go blind.
Why would you kill me?
Because you're blinding me.
Well, with science?
Technically.
I'm blind. Oh my God. Get that. You don't need to be talking to chicks right now.
I'm not. I'm doing the thing for the thing.
Well, we both don't believe that.
I mean, you don't. Maybe you. I can do the social medias.
So I'm on bottom, is what you're saying?
Yep.
All right, let me let's name this. That noise. Can't start the show until you're done with your toy.
Then I'm doing the social medias for us.
My name is JD. My phone is crap.
I got something for you.
My phone.
Get to the chopper.
Oh, that's yours. I was like, my phone doesn't do it because I have a high quality phone. Your phone is known as
An iPhone.
The dumb phone.
Whatever. I love the quality of my phone.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. If you only knew what the marketing process, the selling iPhones was, you'd be like, I'm not buying iPhones ever again.
Don't care.
What's going on with a camera here? Could you put your hand in front of it? That is, I'm just gonna.
I mean, over there?
Yeah. Do one of these. Do one of these. The light got really crazy for some reason. Oh, that's better. Okay, come on over. I don't know what happened there.
Go. I don't know. How old is that camera?
That 2013, 7 years. You ready to start the show?
I mean, I'm ready when you're ready.
Let's do it. Let's get the thing. What is this? I don't make this up. All right. We recording?
Yes.
What are we on over there? What's that say time wise?
7:23.
Good. I tried to make it so they're opposite of each other. Because like sometimes they should, when they could only record for so long and then they clip. So or they cut and then it starts filming again. So I was coming into these moments where they stop, like where I couldn't use the other camera. And I was like, son of a bitch.
It's fine.
See, you're always learning.
I am.
And it's important to learn. That in life, you should not rely on what you believe you know, but be willing to accept new information to assimilate into your life so you can adjust as needed.
Like the Borg.
Yeah. However, I probably do not do that as much anymore because whenever I run into people, I'm usually the teacher and I try to be learned by what they do. But then I do one of these, just shake my head. And I'm just like, really? Why would you put Jell-O inside the soda? No? Okay.
Well, to be fair, you did spend a lot of your life just researching everything.
Yeah, I know. But also doing. Knowledge is useless without practical implication. You gotta apply it to something, a practical application. You have to apply it to something to learn the process. Because listening to someone is not the same as understanding someone. You can listen to someone, but you don't have the comprehension ability to really kind of dissect what it is they said and then put it into fluid motion. And that is the difference between IQ and no IQ.
Why are we putting it into a pool?
Well, because, see, this guy. IQ is the speed of time where knowledge is put in and then able to be implemented. And that's how your IQ is adjusted. That's why they time you. They go.
Is that the sound that every stopwatch makes?
Yes. Is the heat on?
No.
It's just hot. Is it cold here yet? Let's spend the first half hour waiting. Let's have like a moment of silence. Let me just put JD's mic on. Boop, boop. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, can you tell me what time? It's 11 minutes on here. What's it on there?
9:40.
All right, 1 second. Let me just make a note so I don't have to keep looking. Okay, main camera is gonna be 11:15. And what's your camera? Oh wait, that's TJB camera. So what did it say?
10 o'clock. 10.
10
minutes.
JD camera is. I think that says 8:38. I can't really. JD 8:38. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I don't make this stuff up. JD makes up about 80%. The dog absolutely makes up 100% of it. And the reason is because
Just because.
I'm the smarts. JD is the heart, and the dog, without a doubt, is the farts. I was trying to throw it to you. I like light-handedly lobbed our thing we've been saying for weeks.
I'm sorry, I didn't have the capture button.
No, it's all right. Do you need some more cream for your balls? All right.
I mean, a little bit.
Have you ever thought to yourself, maybe like I should take a rest today because it's just raw and boo-boos? Have you ever just taken? We can't.
No,
they can't see your face.
Listen,
on the radio. We gotta.
That's why
no dead air.
God invented Vaseline.
Let me tell you something about that. The reason I talk a lot on the radio and I don't pause is because rule number 1, no dead air. So when I ask a question, if there's no instant response, I have to keep talking. So as I've learned to, like, if you interrupted me, I could just stop and be like, oh, he's talking, and I could boom. I've learned that skill. It's just funny because I'm like, hey, blah blah blah, and you're just So bear in mind when you listen to this show, the reason is because I've been doing what I do for much longer than JD. So if it sounds like I talk much more than him, it's because I actually do to maintain the appearance of professionalism. Because we're not doing dead air.
I'm also just here to learn and watch you and go, oh yeah,
Well,
you have all these good points and all these ideas.
yeah,
I am the pupil while you are the master.
and you give me pushback, and you get upset when I point out things.
Well, I'm
That's your
just
job.
questioning
That's called pushback.
because I have to question in order for me to understand. If I don't understand, I am supposed to question in order to make it so that I can understand.
I knew it. As soon as the liquid is in my mouth, as soon as the liquid from my water was in my mouth, I'm like, oh, he's talking. It goes in my mouth, and he just shuts up. And now I have to swallow. So that's at least, well, you ladies know. And Jim.
Especially Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Hey, Jim. Shout out to Jim. We're not going to give you a last name because we just made you up. All right. Anyway. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, today's show is really about finding ways to better motivate yourself because you are capable if you start. Now, JD came up with the subject, so I'm going to let him handle the show, and I will talk to you guys later.
I'll just play that clip of Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, my God.
Just do it. Do it.
For the record, I was going to pick, we just make fun of JD all day. And he was like, no, let's talk about something helpful. And I was like, this is helpful for my therapy. And he's like, no, we need to, we need a better subject. I was like, whatever. What do you want? He's like, motivation. Good. Put it up. So now I have to figure out what motivation is. I've never actually understood it because I'm always so busy making myself do things. Oh,
yeah. You're just naturally motivated.
Motivating. What is motivation to you? How do you motivate yourself, JD? So I can take a drink of water. But let's see him shut up instantly after I stop talking. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question. I mean,
yeah.
Motivation is something that.
Yes.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
God.
What were you saying? I won't interrupt you.
Oh my God.
Just say it.
Motivation.
I'm trying to drink. Just keep talking. I can't do it. All right, here it goes. Here it goes. I'm gonna drink. Go.
It is the drive.
Okay, back to me. Go ahead. What's motivation to you? You know, how do you motivate yourself? Don't tell me it's the drive. How do you motivate yourself? Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like my entire train of thought has just
well,
been
motivate
derailed.
yourself to answer this damn question. What do you got?
I don't know.
Well, look on your computer that you should have over here so you could do some research.
What's a computer?
Oh my God. It's the thing that goes.
Wait, I thought that was a stopwatch.
Do you know what motivating, like what the idea of motivation is?
I do not.
Oh my God. You have a definition. You have the artist definition. Let me hear it.
It's that drive that makes you want to do stuff.
That's why you weren't going to tell me because I said don't talk about the drive. Is that why you were like, I'm not going to answer this?
No, I wasn't going to answer because he kept interrupting me and it was throwing me off.
Oh, what are you talking about? Seriously, tell
that.
me. No, go ahead.
Just that.
Do I
right there.
really interrupt you?
Every time?
Like how much?
At
Give me
least
like an example.
110% of the
I won't.
time.
All right, fine. Just interrupt me. I'm trying to ask you a question. All right, no, seriously. What is motivation to you?
It's the drive that makes you want to do stuff.
It's the drive. Okay, but how do you go back to the original question? How do you motivate yourself?
My biggest motivation is that I don't ever want to be in a situation where I can't provide for myself and I can't help those that I care about.
Wait, what? Go back. I love this. Read it again.
Read it again. I didn't write it down.
I like this one. I wasn't listening the first 10 times. Let me hear this. Go ahead. Let me hear this
My
again. So I can
personal
break it down.
motivation is that don't ever want to be in a situation where I can't provide for myself, and I also want to be able to help those that I care about whenever is needed. That's my personal motivation for.
All right. So let me get this
life.
straight. You are motivated to help others and never be beholden to anyone. And that's how you write music.
I didn't say about music. I said in life.
But I was asking you in general, how do you motivate yourself to do things? And you're saying that you write music. In that answer, that would mean that you wrote music to help others, and to never be beholden to anyone. So now I ask, how is that possible with music?
With music, my goal with music is to
Yeah.
inspire people to believe in themselves.
All right, but how does that motivate you to never be beholden to somebody?
Because I can do it my way.
All right. Okay. All right.
Have the simplest form.
That's the artist answer. That's good. So we're today. What was today's show about then? Why did you say let's talk about ways to find motivation?
Well, because I feel like a lot of people sometimes don't feel motivated
To do what?
to do anything.
Like,
well, especially during this crazy time that we're in the middle of right now during the COVID times. It's people have been forced to just sit around and not be able to do anything. People have been having difficulties basically just providing for themselves. And sometimes it's hard to be motivated to try and find alternatives to provide for yourself.
Okay. So motivation for you is to provide for yourself. That
is not motivation. That is my personal motivation.
What is he chewing on?
I think he was just having a really large tongue and choking on it.
That's my dog.
Hi, dog.
He's motivated by food.
That is definitely true.
Oh, wait, that's what he's cleaning himself. All right. So, all right, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, that's
this is your topic.
Buddy.
I want to hear this.
No, it's on you.
All right. So, how do you find ways to better motivate yourself?
Me personally?
Yeah. Or do you just rely on, well, I'm doing this one thing because it's going to help others and it's going to make me not beholden to somebody?
No, because if I'm just doing the same thing every day, then that's just being in a routine.
All right. But my question was, how do you find ways to better motivate yourself so you can help people and also not be beholden to others?
I have an even better question. What has motivated you to basically
ask this question again? Well, JD, to get an answer. So there's some content on this episode that you
what has motivated you to go from the artist brain and just wanting to just be in a successful band to flipping the switch and wanting to help everyone?
What?
Like what has motivated you to be the helping hand to people who are starting out, especially in the entertainment industry?
Well, I wanted to help people, and I never wanted to feel like I was beholden to anybody, which sounds like a joke, but that is true. Because I got to the point where I no one was giving me yes. So I wanted to find my own yes. And then I wanted to be able to give people their yes, because I think it would help elevate the world. And then the only way to do that is have the most power possible, not to be dominating and, monopolize your strengths and power or ability.
But have the power so this way you could share it.
So you can share it, because I believe the evolution of humanity is based on sharing. Even if it's not wealth, just wealth of wealth in the currency sense, but wealth in time, as in time or knowledge or experience. And that's what motivated me. I was motivated by music because I didn't think I had to do what I did for anyone but me. And I learned very quickly that that's not what the music industry is about. It's not about your music. And if you think it is, then you don't know how those millionaires are making music. Madonna did not write her own music. Taylor Swift did not write her own music. Metallica only sold 60,000 records for their first album, and then it wasn't until the Black Album where they broke millions. And why did they break millions? Because a producer came in and took their songs that were terrible in his mind,
I went make these
and altered them. In fact, if I remember correctly, on that album or the next album, he played bass a little bit. Oh, it was on that album because
no, it was on Saint Anger, I think.
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah, because they were looking for a bass player still. That was yeah. So
and then they were,
and that's the producer, who's no way. He's just playing bass because you need a bass in the song, and it's not like there's no artistic integrity in there. Really, it was just.
Well, Saint Anger just doesn't exist.
I was very angry. I didn't even care when that came out. I was like, whatever, because I was done with Metallica on the Black Album. I like the Black Album, but to me that's not Metallica. I like the Black Album, but I don't like it as a Metallica album. I just like the songs on there. I'm like, this is a good album.
You're like, this is the Black Album band.
Yeah, but my brother says that Metallica ended as soon as Cliff Burton died, which I kind of agree with, because directly after his death, Justice for All, which is another album I very much like, is not technically a Metallica album.
Even though Cliff Burton wrote a bunch of the stuff on there before.
He wrote parts that are on that song, and he wrote one full song, which is called a Cthulhu. He wrote that. He wrote the main licks in that.
That Call of Cthulhu?
What's the instrumental on that album?
Call of Cthulhu is on Ride the Lightning, buddy.
Oh, well, he wrote that.
Isn't that Dave Mustaine? Didn't he write most of it? Because it's also Hangar 18, isn't it?
If I remember correctly. Well, what's the instrumental on?
It's not Dyer's Eve.
The one that goes. Let me say.
I am drawing a complete.
And not
blank.
the one on Kill 'Em All, because he wrote that too. The one where it goes. Was it Anastasia?
Anastasia.
Yeah, he wrote that whole thing.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because it's all a bass solo instrumental.
Did Cliff Burton write Metallica riffs and songs? I think this is
Ooh.
Yeah, he earned. Yeah. He got a songwriting credit. To Live Is to Die.
Ooh.
Right, and then what else? This is from Rolling Stones. Which song is To Live Is to Die? Is that an instrumental?
I don't remember.
Is that the instrumental? Yeah, because it was a what is it? To Live Is to Die?
To Live Is to Die.
Let's
find out.
To Live Is to Die. This is how much I care. All right. Let's see.
You care enough to look it up.
Yeah. Oh God. What's going on here?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
We're looking up to see if Cliff Burton wrote an instrumental.
Oh, I think this is an instrumental. Yeah. There's no lyrics to this?
Well, if there's no lyrics.
Oh, there is. A man lies, he murders. Oh, no. This is the instrumental. At the very end of the song, there's a poem. It says, when a man lies, he murders some part of the world. I knew he. Yeah. Man, I know what I'm talking about. Listen, I just got the title wrong.
I didn't question the title
wrong, but I definitely knew that on that album
he wrote
the instrumental, or at least the majority of the riffs to that instrumental. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah,
over here.
I was right. There's no money in music. And people who write music, they're just, if they think, oh, I have total control because I'm in the music industry, I'm going to make millions of dollars on my music and then I'm going to get Grammys. If you don't have a producer, it's never going to happen. And if you don't have anyone backing you for at least, I think it's like, you have to be in the charts, and then you have to pay money to get into the Grammy race. You just have to. However, once I realized that music was a little bit more fun for me, but I started not liking being with musicians because I wanted to make money in music and I knew how to,
but
and it had nothing to do with the music.
To ever listen to the plan or be a business.
Yeah, because in my eyes, the moment I realized it had nothing to do with the music, as per my mentors and people that were like big names in the industry,
people who are going to sign you.
Yeah. Those two. I had more than one mentor. However, the idea of what the band was supposed to be at its height, that's what was going to make money. And the reason was because it was
because you guys had built a brand. It wasn't just music. There was an entire experience. There was an entire message. There was an entire there was something for people to emotionally latch onto. It wasn't just a physical product.
No. The product, what did exist, and we had something before TSO was a thing, and also there was how like they toured for like a couple months
they just do their Christmas tour.
They just did a Christmas tour. What we were going to do was be basically a short tour experience, and every year was going to be a theatrical experience. Like it was a yearly show, and every year we would do like the new show, and then we'd do like another hour of just songs from the old shows. And that was the concept. And that was what really blew everyone's mind that we were talking to. They were like, this is because what are we selling now? It's a limited experience. It only tours for a short time. There's DVDs involved. There's stories involved. You can make movies around it. You see what's happening? It's not about the music anymore. It's about bringing people in to get deeply involved in a full experience. Yes, there is a brand, but that isn't what we were selling. We were selling multimedia. It wasn't just live performances. Now it was live performances. It was the DVDs if you couldn't get to it. It was books. It was comics. It was going to be television shows, movies, games. So just everything that involved around that story world was a continuous story, and that was what we were building on. And even towards the end of the band, we were starting to kind of build on that. But all they wanted to do was just play like Evanescence kind of songs and Lacuna Coil style music with the guy-girl vocals.
Literally, not even close to the music you guys were
at all. I mean, the first song we ever played was like, the tempo was 50, and it was Doom.
3 hours later.
Doom. And I like Doom. I wanted it to be more, though, and that's why I started motivating myself to advance my style of writing and incorporate other things that I enjoyed. And I said to myself, I really want a theater experience. So I started writing the songs. And obviously you've heard the music. So
I've played the music.
Yeah. And it's not traditional music. Some of the songs are, but on the whole, even the acoustic stuff I've been putting out, it's not traditional. There's rarely ever choruses, and if there are, it's
very Fade to Black of you.
Wait, what?
There's no chorus in Fade to Black.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my music is very Fade to Black. Yeah. Thanks for devaluing, even though I love that song, devaluing the growth of my musical journey. It's put into.
Listen, for what it's worth,
yeah.
Your music is some of the most difficult music I've ever had to learn in my entire life.
Except for the song I gave you. What's it called? It's on your new album. What is it?
What?
The song that's really difficult that you wrote that you can't play. What's the name?
No, I can totally play it. I just did it today.
What? I'm gonna have to listen to it.
I literally just did it and recorded it in front of you.
Oh yeah, I wasn't listening. So what were we saying about my music?
I was saying that after learning your music, I can literally learn anything else in moments, because nothing is ever going to compare to a difficulty level as the stuff that you've written.
Has the style of my music that you had to learn to play influenced the way you play?
There are things that you've done. Learning your music has definitely helped me with writing voicings on guitar. That
which will be on your third album. Because it's definitely not on this album.
There's some.
Yeah. What's a voicing? I just want to hear this. What is a voicing musically? Let me have some water while you explain it to our audience.
Oh, look, some coffee.
Oh my God. No, I got to talk and wait till he's done drinking his coffee so I can drink my water and he can explain to me. Look at him going. That was some good cold coffee. So tell me, what am I looking at you? Get out of here. You're on camera. They can see you copping out.
I know. That's why it's funny.
Okay. All right. Anyway, well, let's move on. What do you think of voicing?
Oh, look, this delicious coffee. Shorts out
starts licking the table. I must drink coffee.
Well, good thing we got the tablecloth now. It just soaks up. It doesn't fall on the ground.
Feels good, the fabric right in my mouth. Yeah, I'll drink this all day. Hey, do you want to be a farmer? Here's 2 acres. Here's 2 acres. Kicks the nuts. All right.
Oh, God.
What were you saying?
I was complimenting you on your writing abilities and the fact that your music is very. Your music is very unique. You can listen. Anyone that listens to your music will be like, "Oh, this is definitely a Thomas song,"
and hate it.
I wouldn't say they would hate it.
Everyone hates my music.
They'd probably hate trying to learn it because they'd be like, my fingers are going to fall off.
I know. I don't get as many views as you do because I don't push it. But at the same time, how come no one likes my music?
Because no one knows that you're doing music still.
Yeah, I know. I don't really push my music. I casually go, hey, I did a thing. because I also don't care anymore. I don't care about music.
You're just like, this is for funsies.
Yeah, I push my journey. I push my adventure. So whatever I'm doing in general, just my existence. I like that part. I don't go, hey, this song, you should buy this song. I like to go, hey, look, I wrote a song. I really love writing music. And then people going, oh, if he could do it, I can do it. And I don't mind being the barometer of opportunity where someone says, well, if he could do it, I could do it. Because that's great. Now I'm inspiring. And that's a part of my motivation, is to inspire others to ultimately be able to do what they do. Because if they think I'm a failure because they don't see my life, they don't understand how I live, even though I don't have a day job.
And haven't had one for 20 years,
give or take. How many years? Yeah, at least.
Oh, look at Doug.
Oh God.
Move the camera now.
Thanks, Burial.
You're welcome, Dad.
We're good though. We're still good. Over here, Boobala. Oh, he wants water. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just smash everything. There you go.
There's an earthquake on YouTube apparently. Nope, he's gonna lay by the floor.
That's good. What was I saying? Oh, so they see my life and they go, this guy's a loser. He's a con artist. He's a this, he's a that. And they make fun of me. But then they're like, if this asshole could make money, I could do. But my favorite part is a lot of people, they'll judge me, but they don't make money doing what they do. Like, especially when that lady was saying that I'm not a professional writer, and I was like, but I literally pay my electric.
And buy yourself food, pay for rent,
for writing,
which is insane, because it's like, I think that's also just something that people don't understand. I feel like they can get demotivated because they don't understand the fact that you don't have to start off right off the bat, writing the next big Disney classic or writing part of like the next Marvel film in order to be successful. You can literally start as you would in any industry at the bottom and work your way up and make a living. Like,
I'm at the top of the bottom for me.
That's a weird pile we're talking about.
Yeah, it is a weird pile. No, I agree with you.
There's a lot of arms in that pile.
I also feel I've made more money than the band did in music, only because I didn't try to make money with the band. Like, as soon as I started, like, if somebody hired me to play instruments, I made more money than the band. If somebody hired, like, to do a show or write on, help them write, or if like I worked at a studio, or if I was like trying to write rap music, I'm making money in music.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, we have a budget for this. Yeah. And by you doing all that, you're building your own personal brand and, raising your personal value to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
In entertainment.
And I never said no to anything. Like, there was this R&B artist that was backed by a label. I don't even remember what label it was, but he was going to go to France. And he's like, do you want to play guitar? And I was like, I guess. Yeah. That's, if you don't know, that's Spanish. But with a French accent. And he's like, do you want to learn this stuff? And I went there, and he didn't. He's like, just rewrite it. He's like, play whatever you want. I don't care. You were recommended highly by so many people that I just want you to be on the tour. And I was like, all right. And then he ended up not doing the tour.
Oh, how come?
He just didn't want to do it.
Oh, that sucks.
Which is artist brain.
Yeah.
I would have been, but again, I would have been making more than him on that tour, most likely.
Yeah, because you would be the hired gun, so you would be an expense for him.
Yeah.
So he would be earning the money, but after all the expenses, his personal.
That's right. And that's how I made more money than most people in music, because I was working in music. And that's, like we're producing. Producers make more money than the actors.
Well, speaking about musicians,
do we have to?
Doing like original stuff, but also doing like,
this motivates me.
It does. Being hired guns, like Nita Strauss, who plays for Alice Cooper.
Oh yeah. She's Nita Strauss.
I bet you she makes way more playing for Alice Cooper's band than she does for her solo stuff.
Yeah, but she doesn't make more than Alice Cooper.
That's true, because Alice Cooper has been building his brand since the 60s.
Well, he makes the most money, but when you're playing, like, let's say I went on tour with you, you most likely would, like, if I was starting, you would make more money than I was as the
like if you hired me, you mean?
Yeah. However, at a certain point when I was the draw, then I would be making. Technically, I know it sounds weird. Like, how am I paying you more than I'm making? Well, the thing is, the band makes more money than everybody. And then that's divvied out.
But the band pays for everything.
But as the artist, the main person in the band, I should be getting paid the least in the beginning, because I want the money in the band. I want the money financing events, tours, merchandise. And over time, that's a sacrifice. That's what people don't understand is you have to sacrifice in the beginning so you can reward yourself at the end. And the end could only be 5 or 10 years. And that's not really that long because, I mean, think about it. You know, you were only 18 less than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And people think 3 years is a long time, but it's really not. And if you're not successful in 3 years, you've got to
blinked
change
and this entire year pretty much went away.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know.
But
it's been 4 years since I've had cancer. 4 years. I should be dead.
Well, I'm glad you're not dead. So cheers to not being dead. Clink.
Just think of it. If I was dead, I wouldn't be able to do this show.
I'd be very sad. This entire podcast would just be dedicated to me and Piero going, oh.
It'd mostly be JD quiet, drinking coffee. What's the topic of the show today? Music theory. Oh, I have to drink this coffee. All right. Have a great day. I'm glad you tuned into my episode of Drinking Coffee. There you go. Anyway. So, yeah, I motivated myself to get out of the music, the artist brain mentality because I wanted to make money.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I noticed.
What is it that made you want to be an entertainer and not just, follow get a job, work 9 to 5, or
you just answered it.
Well, not a lot of.
Why would I want to work 9 to 5?
A lot of people do that, but what I'm saying is it takes a special kind of personality to be like, I really don't want to do that. I want to do this.
Doesn't take a kind. It takes a lazy motherfucker. No, my family owns lots of. Growing up, they owned lots of businesses from cabinetry shops to you name it, mechanic shops, and I just made a conscious decision. Like for example, my grandfather owned everything from cabinet shops to limousine companies to taxi companies, and he was one of the biggest taxi companies in Naples at one time.
Oh wow!
And
is your dad's dad?
This is my mom's.
My
mom's. And my dad's dad was always a worker, but he was a mechanic a majority of his life. He worked on planes because he was a pilot. Like he loved planes.
That's cool.
So like in the Korea, I think it was the Korean one of the wars. He was a pilot mechanic, but he wanted to fly, but he made more money
as a mechanic. Because nobody knew what to do, and he was like, "I'll just do this."
But his brain was also like, if I learn how to fly, he already knew how to fly, but he was like, if I fly here, he felt being a mechanic had longevity to it because he could leave
and then take
the Air Force
with him.
Yeah. But after, and then he worked, I think he worked at Brookhaven Lab for a while. But again, he was like a maintenance guy, I believe. I believe. I don't know. It's been so long. He died when I was like 10 or something.
Oh, wow.
However, everyone that was around me worked and their hands were always big and like thick and, it'd come in my back and they're always like, even though somehow my back ended up hurting, but I had someone fall on my head when I was 18. Which was ridiculous. Anyway, I made a very conscious decision even when I was younger. I go, I want to make a living with my brain. That's all I cared about. I wanted to use my brain to make money.
And not, destroy your body working.
Yeah, which ultimately my passion for music caused me to, because I went to a concert and, it got squashed. Yeah, that was, I just didn't want to ever, even though I did work as a carpenter because my family was like, do you want to make a couple bucks on the side?
And you're like, sure.
And I was like, yeah,
your family.
Yeah, when you're making $20 an hour, it's like,
especially back
and
in like 1964.
Yeah, when I worked at King Cullen, I made $7.50 an hour.
Jeez.
And in that same time frame,
I don't think are there even states now that even have that as a minimum wage?
I don't even want to
think so.
I don't know what goes on at a job anymore. I haven't worked a job, and I know I could tell you anything about the movie industry. I could tell you a little bit about how the music industry works now. I could tell you a lot about the comedy world. I could tell you about how writing works. How publishers. But I can't sit here and say minimum wage is this. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I think it's $15, but that seems bizarre to me.
It's from state to state.
I know, but just I keep reading it's $15, and I'm like,
it's supposed to go up to 15.
I'm like, there's no way it's $15.
Nah,
because people are still broke.
People are
like, oh,
people are pushing to get it to be $15 an hour. I think there might be one state I think that has it at 15.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong. I have to double check.
Well, if anyone's out there, just so you know, a writer for a script can make anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 on the first draft.
On one draft.
On one draft, and that's probably 1 to 3 months worth of work.
So you're getting a year's salary.
Yeah,
for
just for the first draft. And that's like if you're a nobody and you just joined the union, you know. But even as a published author, you're going to get a percentage of what they project you will earn as a first-time author or your second book, your third. That's what you get. You get a percentage. That's what you get paid. You just get paid the percentage of whatever they feel you're going to earn. Then once that money's earned back, you start getting a percentage of sales after that. And I know that. But again, I can't tell you how much you're going to make working at a supermarket because I don't care.
In Kentucky,
anywhere, France. I have no interest in knowing how to work a job anymore because I never, like when I worked jobs, I was like, can I quit this job? That's how I went for a job interview. I was like, I don't care. And they'd be like, why should we hire you? And I go, well, you need an extra hand? Yes, no. If you don't, I'll go. It's packing out. I can pack out aisles. I don't even need a high school education for that. And they're like, all right.
I'm literally imagining like 14-year-old you, but with a full beard saying that, but like this tall.
No, 12 to 16, I worked at a pizzeria, and that was through a friend. And then after that,
did you have love for pizza before that, or was that working there what cemented the pizza?
When I was younger, I didn't realize my brother had the same thought, but I had the same thought. We only got pizza like on Fridays.
Really?
Because I was a kid, you know. My parents would be like, "It's Pizza Friday," you know. And then one day, I got a job at a pizzeria, and I made my own money. But I was eating pizza every day, and I was like, and then I would leave the pizzeria, and I'd go, "I have money. I could go eat pizza again." And I realized I didn't have to eat pizza on Fridays. I could literally eat pizza every day. And there are small periods in my life where I don't eat pizza every day. Obviously, where we are now, I don't, and I have withdrawals.
Listen, anytime you're not living in the state of New York, just don't eat the pizza.
I know I hate pizza outside of New York. But my brother and I, we both separately had the same thought. It's like, oh, I could buy pizza anytime I want. But that was a conscious thought. Like it wasn't like, oh, I could go food shopping. No, it was I can buy pizza anytime I want. And honestly, that changed my life. But no, I worked 12 to 16 at a pizza place. Then I moved to Florida. And I worked at a movie theater. I worked at Subway. I worked at Sam's Club. And then I had an aneurysm when I worked at Sam's Club. I almost died.
Like for realsies?
Yeah, and then they fired me because they thought I faked it. But the hospital report said that I was literally saved in seconds.
Dude.
I got to the hospital unknowingly how I got there. So I had to have driven.
That's terrifying.
And, and then it's crazy. It was terrible.
So how many times in your life have you cheated death?
Several. Well, not including my self-attempts when I was young.
I feel like death walks in and you're just like, not today.
Hey, Mr. Thomas. Okay. All right. I'll be back. Hey, Tom, I'm back. Oh, Jesus, he's with the girl.
He's eating the broccoli.
Look at that kid. Look at the broccoli. He looks so good eating the broccoli.
I got another question.
Oh my
going
God.
Back to
is this about motivation?
What is it that made you consciously decide to work? You said for a year and a half, for like 3 jobs.
Yeah, money.
Basically, never, not sleeping barely.
Yeah, I barely slept.
Just so that you could have that financial foundation. What was your motivation for that? Was it still going back to you didn't want to?
You just said it. Financial foundation. If I had the money, I wouldn't have to work.
But specifically, your plan was to focus on building up the band and making that successful. So what is it?
Not at that time. My focus was building up my value in the music industry.
Gotcha.
Because like I tell everyone, just because you're not doing what you love in your industry, as long as you're working within your industry, you're building opportunity and relationships to do the thing you want to do.
So what is it that motivated you to take that action in order to give yourself that freedom? Because a lot of people don't feel perhaps they're just afraid of taking off that time. So what is it that made you not have that fear?
I had zero fear because I knew I was capable. Which is the second part. You are capable if you start. And I never in my life have I thought I can't do this. I've never been in that situation where it's like, I can't do this. Because if I can't do it, I won't do it. I'll find another way to do it. And that's just been, I have a brain that sees patterns and I basically, the way I broke down success was because I did tons of research and my brain accepted patterns in the success of all these individuals. And that's how I learned the basis, the core aspect of success is network market practice. Longevity is based on the management of time, money, and people, utilizing your entrepreneurial brain to find solutions by thinking outside the box. And then, of course, your talent. What do you bring to the table? And then I was like, well, how do I fuel that? And that eventually turned into fueling your purpose, which is have security, growth, and dream. Well, the security for me was go working for a year
and not sleeping.
And then I had enough money in the bank where I really didn't really care about jobs.
So since you don't drink coffee, how did you survive not sleeping? Did you
lots ahead?
Giving or getting?
I gave it to myself.
I mean,
the protein was amazing.
Well, the protein helps with the the muscle rebuilding.
No, I slept. I would sleep while I was working. Actually, I would sleep during my breaks. I would sleep in between the jobs. I would shower at my friend's house, and then after a while though, like when I was like, I have plenty of money, I could lose one of these jobs. I just started sleeping. So I worked at King Cullen overnights. Mm-hmm. And I would like sleep in the aisle, and they'd wake me up like, "Hey, man, you're gonna get fired." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I need to sleep, and people were like, "How's he doing that?" And then one time, the boss came in the morning, and they were like, "Hey, you're not getting your boats out in time." Boats, it doesn't matter what boats. But anyway,
you're not getting your job done.
I'm not getting my job done, and I would have 5 boats a night, and I would probably do like 3 of them, which is slow, right? However, he goes, you should be able to get all 5 boats done. You should be doing a boat every 30 minutes to an hour, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. And he's like, I'm going to show you something. He gets 2 people to come out with a boat. The 2 people start unloading the boat, putting them in front of all the positions, and then one starts at one end, one starts at the other end, and they finish it. And he goes, see, it's easy. I go, yes, with 2 people, it's very easy. I go, they just did it in 15 minutes. So if you could do it in 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour, well, that makes sense that they did in half the time. There's 2 of them. And he goes, well, you don't lay the stuff out. I go, yes, I do. I need pillows. Put the boxes down. I lay my head on it. He's like, you don't take this job seriously. No, it's King Cullen. I don't even think you take it seriously. You probably go home and forget about this place. And if you don't, you need therapy. It's King Cullen. And no job will ever pay you what you're worth, and no job will ever care about you, ever in this world. The only job that'll ever care about you is your business. And your business, you have the right to care about other people. And that's why when I have a business, I usually like to make people make money from the business and not be like, do you want to make an hourly pay, or do you want to,
Yeah, because you want to have people feel like they're part of something. You want them to care. Yeah. It's not just here's a paycheck.
Yeah.
Like you want them to feel like they're earning, they're just earning their success.
Yeah. And, most people just want to get a paycheck, which brings us back to, where did I find the motivation? Well, I have no fear, whereas the people are like, well, I need money. It's like, you don't need money. You need money management. That's your issue. It's not, you don't need more money. If I gave you $100,000, you'd still be broke. And it's because most people don't know how to manage money. I easily can live off of $28,000 a year. Easily.
Now, is that just like your yearly budget, or is that your pizza budget?
That's well,
half my pizza.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, my pizza actually has its own budget. It's $50,000 a year. I don't need that. I eat lunch and dinner. But I take Sundays off. I eat like a pasta. Anyway, but so most people don't know how money management.
So do you think that your all day, every day, how money works and money management was able to give you that freedom to not really have like that fear of taking chances or calculated chances?
Wait, what?
Say. So are you saying that your understanding of how money actually worked is what helped, make it so that there was no fear to take calculated chances?
Well, that's the thing. I never took a chance. I took calculated chances. But my calculated chance. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like you're saying, take calculated chances, and I'm saying, yeah, because I never took a chance. I always took a calculated chance, and that wasn't just money. It was everything. You have to manage your time, money, and people. You have to manage. You have to be able to think outside the box. You have like everything I did. I knew what I was doing. You know, if I met somebody, I knew why I was meeting them. I didn't just, here's another person to my list. You know, there was always purpose to it. Who do they know? Who are they? Somebody, or do they know somebody, or do they know somebody that knows somebody? That was always my mentality. I wasn't using people. I was genuinely interested in them. That's how I made friends quickly. And I gave them the floor, and I talked to them as if
You're very easy to talk to.
Yeah. Unless you're like really close to me. If you're really close to me, I'm like, I lose all tack because I don't care anymore. I'm like, look,
I did the work. You're here.
I did the work. Now I have to deal with you.
Now you're the gum at the bottom of my shoe, JD.
Yeah.
But you never wear shoes at home.
Well, exactly. Listen, you get 1,000 questions with me, and you've already passed that several times.
Over.
So now you have to deal with the. Oh, really? Another question? Sure. What is it, JD? Yeah. No, that music sounds great.
I asked you what you wanted for dinner. Whatever. I wasn't paying attention.
Just read it again. He goes, hey, I adjusted the EQ on this. What do you think? I think it sounds the same. It sounds the same. Yeah, but it's cleaner. Listen to it. You know what? Yeah. Oh, God, that's beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to go back to what I was doing. Taking a crap. Why are you? Please stop knocking on the door.
Brings the speaker to the door.
Yeah. Listen to what I did. That's somebody else's song. Oh, man. All right, I'll be right back. It's still someone else's song. Yeah, but it sounds like I wrote it. No, it doesn't. We've proven this. So what motivates you to sound like everyone else? No, okay. Calculated chances is why I succeed at what I do. Because, and again, the thing is, my brother does this. He'll like over calculate.
So that he gets caught up in the calculations and doesn't progress.
Yeah. I get to a point where I know I could jump out of the plane and my parachute's going to go off. But then I could kind of figure out, where I'm going to go because I have options now. That's how much calculation I do. I do just enough so I know where I can go, but I have choices. And I don't care if they work out perfectly because I have contingencies, but my contingencies aren't to do something else. It's just how do I do the thing I want to do differently.
Basically, your contingencies are just different routes to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I like I've said, I think on our first or second show, I've never had a plan B. My plan B was a different way to get my plan A. However, when I first started, my plan A was illustration. And there was a certain point where I realized illustration wasn't what I wanted to do, especially when I started making money in it and like working at Comet. And like, it was just everything that I hated about labor was happening with art. Like I had no control, but this is where the artist brain, I had no control over my art. It was always what everybody else wanted. So I was like music, where you just said, well, I'm beholden to no one. I could write whatever I want. But then I soon learned that doesn't mean anything. That's the same thing as me. I could draw what I want if I didn't work for somebody, right? But what does that mean? What am I doing with that? I'm not making a living. I don't have a career. Music, art, creation, those things don't make you money. And that's why people always say, oh, you better have a backup plan. Because you or other artists are not taking their art like a job. You're taking it like, well, I could do whatever I want and people will buy it because it's mine and it's awesome, amazing, and unique. Like, who cares about your music?
Can you talk with that accent?
Every time.
What do we want for dinner?
Let us have some ribs. Here's a salad made of hamburger. All right. I'm in. What they don't realize is there's more opportunity to make money in art than there is any other field. But there's no money in art. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And with music and like here's an example. One of my friends got a $300,000 down payment, an upfront payment.
That's a lot of money.
To write a book he didn't want to write. To write a book, he had no interest in being an author. To write a book because he had built his brand and his influence in his field of expertise. That's it. And then he paid someone else to write the book. Right. And that to me is what I do. I become an expert in my field. I'm able to help others. But when it comes to my art, I can do it whenever I want, and I'm happy with that. But when I want to make money, somebody else hires me to help them. And that to me, now I get to work in my field of interest. I get to do what I love to do.
And you get to help people.
I get to help people, but then I get to do what I want. But I also get to the point where I have the opportunities, the options to make money doing what I do also. But I don't care. I don't care if I make an album and the album makes me money. Like, I don't care about that. If it does, great, but that's not why I'm doing it. If you do art to make money, you're never going to make money. But if you run a business to make money, then you'll make a ton of money. Like a painter. How do you think a painter makes money? Like a paints on canvases and does like their own paintings, and they do abstracts, or let's just say they do portraits. How do you think a real painter makes money? Like a real painter, like the guy who sold the banana. How do you think he even made money?
I don't think that counts as a painting, though.
It does. It's art. But how do you think someone like that, or even someone who made that blank canvas for $1 million, how do you think that happened? Do you think it's because, first of all, it was a blank canvas? It was literally white, and he made $1 million. So we know he didn't paint it. But why would someone buy that from him? How do you think that happened?
I'm assuming it's because that artist, that painter, built up their personal brand, and people are like, "Oh, we are attached to you, and we believe in everything that you do and create. So we'll just give you all of our money."
All right. How do you become successful, JD?
You network, market, and practice.
That's right. So if he just had a brand, do you think he would be successful?
No.
So what you just said was just marketing. And that's another thing artist brains do, right? So you're just hearing what works for you in that situation. That was your example. Oh, he just built his brand. He had it. And that's the thing. Like sometimes when people ask you, how do I become successful? You focus on brand because you're forgetting about the other two needs, about how important they are. In fact, if you focus on only small parts of your triangle of life, which is the thing that I've created to kind of like organize your tools, your triangle falls apart because each side is only as strong as the other side. You got to maintain integrity.
You have to be equal on all sides.
Equal on all sides. However, as long as you're doing stuff, maintaining some sort of movement on those sides, you'll still do well. But most people, if you look at the side, it's network, market, practice, and then it's management, entrepreneurial, talent, and then it's security, growth, and dream. Most people focus on practicing their craft, utilizing their talent to make money and longevity, and then they focus on their dream. And that's why they fail. But if you look at the triangle, everything I just said, you need to focus a little bit on network, market, and practice. You got to focus on management of your time, money, and people, finding solutions, and your talent. What do you bring to the table? You got to focus on securing money so you could take calculated risks. You got to focus on investing your money with your growth need, and then you got to reward yourself. It's really, it's simple. You just kind of have to do it, though. You have to motivate yourself to do it.
What is your motivation to keep that balance between all the sides?
Oh, see, I want to help people, and I never want to be beholden to someone. If you're not going to answer my original question, I can't answer that question. You
can answer it.
No,
listen, I'm better at asking questions.
No, you're not. You're the artist. You're just curious on how to better yourself. That's why you're asking those questions. I'm asking the question so I could hear you say the wrong thing, so I can ultimately educate you. You're just hearing what I did, but not how I did it.
Well, then, how is it that you did what you did?
I don't know, JD.
When you do it,
how do you motivate yourself?
Well, first I take one leg and get it out of the bed.
Yeah, but that's not true. I've seen it.
It's more of like an awkward roll.
Yeah, you just roll out. Yeah. And if you have a hard on, you don't. You just end up, leveled with the bed.
Yeah, that just hurts.
Yeah, his bed is actually a piece of cloth on the floor. It's not an actual mattress.
Yeah, it's got like little patches on it.
Have you ever done a no-handed push-up?
Oh yeah. It's part of my workout routine.
I do one cock push-up a day. So you don't motivate yourself. Your motivation is so that you can help people and never be beholden to someone, but you don't necessarily motivate yourself to do things.
It's not that I don't want to be beholden to someone. It's just that I have personally been in situations where I have had to be extremely frugal, and I don't ever want to be in that situation.
Well, you're always frugal.
Well,
you're choosing to be frugal.
Now I'm choosing to. It's not necessarily that
You need therapy.
It's not that I need to. I don't worry about money anymore. And what I'm saying is, part of my motivation is that growing up, that was something that was always something we worried about. We always worried about money, and I don't ever want to feel like that again, because it was just unnecessary stress, and I felt like I wasn't able to interact as a normal person. I wasn't able to have normal relationships with people. It wasn't.
And that's what gets you to write music.
It was an outlet for it.
Wait, no, it's an outlet, but is it why you write music?
It's one of the reasons.
Because music will help you be never be beholden to someone, and also help others. Okay, trying to
music
understand this.
For me has always helped me keep control of my emotions and not let myself get too crazy.
So it has nothing to do with motivation. I'm just you're just saying stuff. I have to look. That's a good interview. I got to interject when you say something. Because you're not answering the question.
Well,
you're just saying something.
Well, you're also not letting me finish.
Oh yeah, all right. I'll let you finish. Go ahead. I'm gonna drink my water now.
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta pause.
Oh my God! Go on, just drink your damn water.
So music helped me make sense of how I was feeling and not get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And for me, that was really important. I wanted to be able to give that feeling back to other people. So that is why I create music now. It's because it helps me feel good, it helps me make sense of the world, and I want to be able to give that same thing to other people.
So let me get this straight. You believe your music makes people feel better. That's why you write it.
I don't know what it makes people feel. I am making music that I believe in. I'm making music that I'm proud of, and I'm making music that I know helps me feel focused. And I'm putting it out there. And if people happen to have that connection with it, then
so that's why you do music.
That is why I do music.
Oh, great. All right. So that's the Artist Brain 101 right there. You know why?
Why?
Because it's about you. Even though you're saying, I hope people connect to it, it's about you. It's not them. And therefore, your audience is not interested in connecting with you. Why?
I don't know. Tell me.
Because you're not giving them a chance. You're expecting them to connect with you through your music and not your adventure.
That is not true at all.
Okay, go ahead. Prove me wrong. We're recording this, by the way.
You're asking why I made it, why I make music. That's why I make music. I didn't say I was expecting people to connect with my music and then me.
I know, but what you said infers that, because you're saying, I hope people feel what I feel. I hope people connect with. So in that,
no, I said I want to give that same feeling to other people. That is why I make music.
Through your music.
Through music, yes.
Yeah,
but I'm not saying that is more important than them connecting with me on a personal level.
Well, how do they connect with you on a personal level if it's about your music?
I didn't say it was about my music. I'm giving you the reason why I make music.
So why do you make music?
Because it makes me feel in control of myself, and it makes me feel motivated. It makes me feel confident, and I'm putting it out there because...
Wait, your music motivates you? So what motivates you to do the music?
No, it makes me feel confident.
Oh, okay. Because you said motivated.
Well, if I said motivated, I apologize.
Yeah, you definitely did. All right. So your music is for you. It makes you feel good.
Yes.
And then the audience has nothing to do with it. You don't care if they connect or not.
I do care.
Now you care that they connect or not. But you just said you don't care.
If people connect, that is like, I'm glad that I'm able to connect with people and then have them connect with me as a person.
Through music.
Not through music.
So how are they connecting to you?
They're connecting with me
because
I'm a person and they're a person.
All right, but we're talking about your music.
They're connecting with the music because they potentially just like the music.
So they're connecting with the music, not you.
They can connect with both, but separately.
Impossible.
All right. Explain to me then.
Well, we're talking about brand here. How can they connect with the brand if they're focused on a product?
Well, I didn't say to focus on one or the other. I said that they're two separate things.
Yeah, but you in your head right now in this conversation, you're having two conversations. You're having one about you and you're having one about your music. I am only having a conversation about your music because you said that you were motivated to write your music because it makes you feel better. It's an outlet, confidence, all these other things. And then it'd be nice if people connected to it. So now I'm just focusing on your music, but you keep adding this other element, which is not a part of the conversation. And that's why we're getting confusing. So we're going to take you out of the conversation and we're going to focus on your music because you did say that if people can connect to it or they enjoy the music, that's a way of connecting with you. And then you said, well, they would do it for both. They would connect with the music
because
and
I know
me.
what you're inferring. You're inferring that I'm expecting the music to build a brand and find success, which is not the case.
All right, let's assume you're not expecting that.
Okay.
All right, but so then why give them the music?
Why give anyone any kind of art? Why would anyone?
I'm asking
why
you.
would people make art? People make art because they feel a need to create art.
That's an assumption.
I am assuming.
You are assuming, but the problem is you're not looking at it. You're looking at it as an artist brain. And that's the point.
So how is it that you look at the situation?
Well, remember, I just put out music whenever I want. I have no interest in other people buying it up, being happy with it, or liking it.
So you make your music strictly for you.
100%. My music, my art, my creations is for me, right? The business of it is where I know that I'm going to make the money. And that gives me the freedom to have zero concern about anyone's opinion about my music. I don't give a crap what people think about my writing, my music, if they like it or if they don't like it. What I do give a crap is when they challenge my skill level, especially when I'm making a living doing it and they're saying, you're not a professional. And you're like, you're an idiot. There's no way that statement is accurate, because if I am making a living with it, I am a professional. Am I an expert? Well, that's debatable. But I might be an expert in my field for that particular area. But I also don't care about the end product in the sense of I don't like red, right? And then someone's like, well, I don't like blue. Well, now we can't compare notes, because if I write all about blue, I know you're not going to enjoy it. It's impossible. You already have a bias, and that's what art is. It's a bias. That's why you don't like certain kinds of music, right? There's certain kind of music you're like, I have no interest in listening to that. Or do you? Do you love all music equally?
No.
Why not?
I have a bias.
That's my point. It's your preference to connect to a certain style of music, but not necessarily the person. And you won't connect to the person until you do what?
Get to know them.
And how do you get to know them?
By networking.
Yeah. So they're using their music to get you to go to them. But the problem is music is a step that is canceling, because you're either going to like it or not like it. But now you have to add that extra element of bias. Oh, it's heavy metal. Not even interested in listening to it. So now you've taken the choice away from your audience. So if that's what I'm saying, like the moment your motivation to create music is the hope that other people could enjoy it as much as you enjoy it, you're taking away their choice to connect with you. Your music is not what people connect to. It is an artist's falsality. It is something that has killed the creative world for years, if not centuries. People did not go to Da Vinci because of his art. They went to Da Vinci because he knew everybody. Because if they went to him for his art
and knew everything,
and
I wonder if maybe you were Leonardo da Vinci in another life.
No, because I'm straight.
In another life.
In another life. I am ambidextrous though. And he was too.
Really? I've never seen you breathe water.
It's because I have a frog in my throat. But people did go to him knowing he wouldn't finish his art because they had relationships with him, right? Even I think he even designed like army, like he designed vehicles.
Well, if I remember correctly,
crazy.
he designed original ideas for a submersible.
Yeah, he did. It
didn't work because it wasn't airtight.
This was made of paper. They were like, no, that's not good. Oh, those were the instructions. But I go back to my point is, if you create music with the motivation that it's hopeful that somebody will connect to that music like you do and lead back to you, you're wasting your time. If you change that mentality to focus the art on you, and then it's all about you and it's not about anyone else, because you do this a lot. You push your music still more than you should. But that's because subconsciously it means that you need either validation. And if it's not validation, you want people to listen to it. If it's not that you want them to listen to it, you want to make money off of it. Those are the only three reasons you're pushing music. Otherwise, why would you push it? Why would you push it? Why do you?
Those seem like valid reasons that you brought up.
They're
like good reasons.
All right. Well, what is a good reason then?
There is no good reason to push the music.
Oh, you're saying these are valid, and I'm making a point.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you post your Instagram, like one time you posted like 4 Instagram stories in a row of like the boomerang of like your music sheets, right? There was no message there. Why?
Because there was no message.
There's no message. It's not really your adventure. You're just like, look at my stuff. I have stuff. You don't have it. No one can relate to your stuff.
They can relate to the adventure.
They can relate to the adventure. They can relate to you having trouble, maybe having trouble with a lick. I've just spent 15 minutes on the same lick for literally 15 minutes. I need to take a break.
I spent 15 minutes on the same lick for 14 hours.
Yeah. But you know how people exaggerate, they're like, oh, it took me an hour to do this thing, but it was really like 20 minutes. That people can relate to because it has nothing to do with music in that situation.
They're just like, oh, I can relate to the struggle of trying to get something done that you want to get done that you're having difficulties with.
Yeah. Especially when you believe you're an expert at it and you're having trouble with it. That there's nothing more frustrating than an expert. It's like a master mechanic going, how can I not take the battery out? Like, what's going on here? Or how can I not figure out what's going on? I hear the click. I know what the click in the engine is. That's how I used to be a mechanic with my brother because I said engine, not motor. Motor is electronically propelled, and engines are pushed through explosions. Anyway. So I go back to that way you're saying you motivate. When you say stuff like that, it's good because that's an artist brain, and ultimately, I hope one day you change that mindset. It doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon, which is fine. Because as long as you're happy, hoping people like your music, or that, because art should come from something organic and not with intent. The intent should be for you. And the moment it's for somebody else, you're doing it wrong.
Which is why I refuse to put any vocals
or good stuff in the music. Yeah.
Well, that's that's
preference. Not why. No, you don't choose to not put vocals in your music because it would be good or bad. You do it because you don't think you can sing, which you can sing, and therefore because you're not the voice of the music, you don't want to give it to anyone else. Plus, you don't want to deal with singers.
That is not what sparked the original thing was I don't want to deal with singers anymore. But then I became the sole creator of the Angels on the Battlefield project.
No one else has a say.
No, because I'm writing all the music.
That's so artist brain. That's insane.
Coming from the guy who literally wrote all the music for Tenebra.
Yeah, because no one else could write. There's a difference. When they did write a riff, or they added.
If you had someone come in for Altanyan right
now. Come in
where?
Yeah.
And said, I want to write music for Altanyan, would you let them?
It depends on the song. Obviously, if it's like hip hop, no.
If you had someone that was, doing metal, progressive doom metal, would you let them write? Or would you be like, we have to sing? There
would be stipulations. For example, the lyrics would have to represent a certain element. The music would have to represent a certain element. They can't just come in and do power metal and then their songs about fighting dragons.
Obviously, it would have to stick within the brand that you built for Altanyan, and lyrically, it would have to stick with the themes of the
I would
world
let someone do it, but they would either have to assume that I have half the rights.
Well, it's
in the project. But I will happily give them the other half of the rights. I wouldn't care as long as it fit the feel. But obviously, the moment I touch it, if they're like, oh, you can't change anything, then I was like, well, then you can't add the song because now it's not a collaboration. I'm not trying to put your music in this project. If you want to be a part of this project, we can put music in it. There's a big difference because I was very, very happy to let people write stuff within the music that was already written. In fact, sometimes when a new person came in, I go, the guitar solo goes here. And they'd be like, what is it? I was like, whatever you want. Or they would be playing with a lick or a riff and they would change it. And if I liked it, I said, oh, that's awesome. Keep that. If I didn't like it, I'd say I don't like it. It wouldn't be because, well, I didn't write it. Get it out of here. Because then I wouldn't be in an artistic venture. I'd be an a-hole. In fact, I think people like that are annoying because it's like you have. So if you live with the no mentality, you have no growth in you. And that's a fact. You can't dispute that. If you have a no mentality, you can't grow. Why?
Because you're not saying yes to opportunities. You're just going, oh, this is how things are going to be, and you can't expand.
You're not yes-ending life. Yes-end means that you go, all right, I hear you. Let me see what it can do happen. You know what? I like some of it, but not all of it. How can I turn that into something else? The moment you know, like you're just saying no, you're boxing yourself, and no one will ever want to work with you like that. So if you're like, well, this is my project and I write all the music, and if I'm not doing the vocals or writing the lyrics, I don't want them. You're saying to people that I'm a control freak. That's all that's saying. You know, like if a bass player came in and was like, hey, these are cool, but bass player don't play like this because, you know, they learned how to play bass. And you're like, no, this is how the pot goes. I wrote it. Like you would, how
I agree. That would be, you know, dick.
It would be, right?
Totally.
It totally would be dick. Or like if you were like, hey, drummer, I wrote these drums for you. And they're like, how many arms does he have?
14.
You know, how many feet? You can't, no human drummer can play these things. And you're like, but the MIDI can, and I wrote it, and that's how it will be.
Well, anyone that thinks like that's stupid.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, so who's playing bass for you?
Well, originally it was going to be me, but then I asked you, and you offered to say yes.
Well, yeah, but you know, it depends. Can I change stuff?
For like the 5th time, yes, you can make it sound like a bass player would.
How much can I change? Because I noticed you started already recording, which then makes it so I can't change the bass too much. Because the guitars are finalized. But there might be things, because your drums sound like a drummer is drunk. Some of your drum stuff is good though. You can see that you're like learning drum stuff. Some of them are really good. But
yeah, no, the drums definitely need to be worked on.
But what you just did is you wasted time, and I did mention this a while ago. But basically, you asked me to kind of touch the drums, and the drums and the bass sometimes work together. But there are certain things the drums and bass does that could influence the guitars. But now the bass has to work within the confines of what the guitars are doing, and so do the drums, and that means they're limited from being drums and a bass. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's awesome about doing this project on our own time is that we can change things.
Yeah, but you know, I like watching you do stuff more than once.
Well, it's a learning process for me also, because I can.
How? I told you how to do it.
Well, I'm doing other stuff.
What?
Like I'm learning how to EQ and finding things that I like.
All right, that's good. So you're okay changing guitars?
Potentially. I mean, I've already done a whole bunch of changing. Like I've changed arrangements. I've added stuff. I've taken stuff out.
But then you didn't do anything. When you write, you have to allow the other instruments to influence the instruments.
I did.
No, you didn't, because the bass and the drums have to change.
Going from the original stuff that was written, yes, everything has changed, you know, a lot.
No, what I'm saying is the drums and the bass have to change. And then that should influence the guitars.
All right, so then if
you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. So if things change drastically, then I could just re-record stuff.
All right, yeah, all right.
It's not that big a deal.
It's just you and I. We have different ways of like. I don't like to double back. Like I like to kind of.
Well, you're also have 10 years of knowledge on me, so you've learned everything that I'm learning now.
Which, by the way, I hated when I was learning it. I just wanted to put that.
Well, that's also something that is different. I'm very much enjoying the learning process of this.
You know what I did like though? When someone showed me how to do it, and then I just did it how they did. But while I did it how they did, and I mastered what they showed me, I in turn learned how to do it my way, and I was able. And then I didn't spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years trying to learn what it is they had showed me. They had shown me the foundation of what their knowledge has brought them to, and then I was able to take that, master that, and then expand on it. You know, and that was something I learned from working in recording studios, where there'll be people that come in that were like way old school, and they'd be like, do it this way, and the person would literally go, all right, we'll do it that way, and they wouldn't argue with them, and I'm like, but you know, and then they would leave, and I go, why would you? You own the place, like you know what you're doing, and they go, I know what I'm doing, but he knows what he's doing, so to do what he's told me to do and see how it influences what I already know can only make me a better engineer. And stuff like that is what molded me into who I am, because I would hear people be humble, and I would hear people take responsibility, and I would hear people yes and. That yes and mentality made that person a better engineer, because they could have easily been like,
nah,
all right, I'll do it. Yeah, don't worry. And then just do what they do. And what would that have done? A, made them a terrible person to work with. You can't work.
They never would have learned and expanded.
They would have never learned and expanded. Did that old technique influence in a great way? It doesn't matter. Even if it was a little bit of change, that's
still a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of growth.
In fact, I've worked with like moving forward after I was working with studios and stuff like that. I would go into another studio, and the camera's so bright. I would go into another studio, and I would work with somebody. I'd be like a runner or something because they just wanted extra hands. I'd be like, "Hey, Tom, I know you know what you're doing. You want to
do this thing?
Just be my helper." And I was like, "Yeah." So I knew my position. I wasn't going to be like, "Hey, you should do this stuff." I knew what I was doing there.
Yeah.
But things would come up, and they would say, "Do it this way." And while I was doing it, I realized I'm going to do it my way. And then I'd come back and they'd be like, "See, it sounds great." And I was like, "Yeah, it does." All right. And they're like, I told you I knew what I was doing. And I was like, "Yeah, you did." And I didn't go, "Well, yeah, we're using my way," because I wasn't the teacher in that situation. I wasn't but I still did it my way, knowing it would be better, because after I tried their way, I was like, "Yeah, it's stupid." Even though they've been doing it a long time, I had the experience of so many others. Whereas this person has educated themselves without the influence of others. You know, they were like,
they had the knowledge that they've gained, where you have the knowledge you gained plus other people's.
Yeah, and all my knowledge is ever gained by the influence of others. Like, my self knowledge is research based on what people tell me, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I feel I know something without any outside influence or research,
you have to go and research.
I need to research before I start talking about it, because most people go, "Well, I know, you know, you just do this," you know, and like, "Well, how do you know that?" "Well, I've come to the conclusion." "How?" "Well, I was sleeping in my bed and I had this dream." I was like, "You know, it'd be great." No. What would be great? "If you could drive cars through walls." "Oh, well,
in a tunnel?"
"I will watch that." No, be in the car with me." No. I will watch it
with popcorn.
Anyway, so you motivate yourself to write music because it makes you feel better.
It gives me focus and it gives me confidence, because, like I've mentioned before, music has been my anchor.
Cool.
For
What other things motivate you?
I mean, burgers definitely motivate me.
All right, so I mean, like, to do things. Like, what motivates you to do anything other than to help people and not be beholden to something? Because you don't work out to not be beholden to someone. You work out for a different reason, right?
I work out because I want to be healthy. Growing up, a bunch of people in my immediate family were not the healthiest, and I've seen the effects of not being healthy. So seeing that and seeing all the health issues that they had gone through definitely made me want to take care of myself.
So you're motivated by body shaming others by being in quote unquote better shape than them.
No. I'm motivated to, not have to worry about early diabetes, worry about my kneecaps.
Oh, so fat people are out of shape.
I didn't say that.
What do you? Oh, so they're in shape.
I'm saying
they are
people
shape.
that did not. People in my family that did not take care of themselves. This is what I witnessed.
Yeah. Now, how would you feel if after all this working out,
I ended up with diabetes and my knees?
Because it's genetic.
No.
Which is possible. It's like baldness. No matter how much you masturbate, you're still going to go bald. Yeah.
What?
Well, because they say you get hairy palms, right? That's why I'm not bald anywhere, because I do it all the time. I just.
What are you, a vampire with hairy palms?
Hairy palms.
Hairy palms.
Look at my hairy palms. All right. So you motivate because you don't want to be fat.
I don't want to be unhealthy.
So you think fat people are unhealthy?
I think people that don't take care of their bodies are unhealthy.
Well, how unhealthy are they?
Well, it's a case by case basis.
Yeah. 1 second. I have to respond.
I will let you respond. But what? I totally had a brain fart. Apologize. No, I made a promise to myself when I was like in high school that, once I started seeing all of these health issues come to be really, really like high levels, I made a promise to myself to just always take care of myself as long as I was able to. And then when I was a kid, I ran into this older guy at the mall and just had like a random conversation. And he made a passing comment about like, oh, back when I was in the war. And I was like, oh, were you in Vietnam? And he looks at me for a second, gives me like this like contemplative like look, and he goes, son, how old do you think I am? And I was like, you want me to be honest? He's like, yeah, be honest. I'm like, 62.
Jesus.
He's like, add 20 years to that.
What?
I was like, what? He's like,
Oh,
yeah, I was in
man.
World War II.
Get out of here.
I swear to God, this guy was jacked and looked like he could break me with his pinky.
All right. So this guy named Jack could break you with his pinky. And he was in World War II. Now, can you go back to the beginning? Because I didn't hear anything.
Well, when we were talking after that, he said that I asked him how he's able to like stay so fit and in good shape at the age of 82. And
blowjobs.
That too. He said that his thing was he focused on making sure that his legs were good, because he said once your legs go, basically the rest of your body kind of just starts shutting down.
It's legs, core, and then your upper body.
You don't need arms. We've all seen that guy who has no arms and drives a car.
No, my thing is I used to see everyone with big upper bodies. That's why my legs are in such good shape, even with me not being able to use my legs very well.
Because you're like, I'm going to focus on making sure my legs are good.
No, I did what I did with my life, where I made sure each side of the triangle was evenly worked out.
But you don't look like a triangle. Jump.
Anyway, so I made sure that I worked out. I always worked out my legs, my back, and then my upper body, and I always did it in that order. And then I'd go back, douche, 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 and I would just keep rotating that. And then I would do like a full day, and then I would take 2 days off. So I would do like legs, then I would do back, and maybe biceps, depending. And then like I would do all the triceps, the shoulders, things like that. And like I'd do a day of like cardio, because I didn't want to do too much cardio because I was trying to get bigger. I would do cardio and abs, and then I would do like a full day, and then I would just take 2 days off. And I didn't care what day it was in the week. That was just my schedule. So I wasn't like working Monday. I wasn't working out Sunday through Saturday. My schedule was what it was. So whatever day it landed on, that's when I would go. And I ate every day a lot, too much sometimes.
You're like, I'll have 14 steaks, please.
Yeah, no, me and my buddy was Stony. My buddy Justin, he would always eat like a steak, eggs, potatoes. He was a big guy too. Like he got really snack. Big. Yeah, I would eat, and I'd be like, I'm still starving. And then like the people that I was talking to, basically for eating, was saying, well, yeah, the more you work out, the stronger your metabolism. Your metabolism is going to work overtime because
you're using all that energy that your body needs to go, hey, fuel.
But even beyond that, like if you're not working out, like let's say you take a week off, your metabolism is already activated. That's why lethargic people, and again, I'm not a doctor, so it changes for everybody, but traditionally, if you become lethargic and you're slow and you don't really work out, your metabolism changes, because it's like, oh, we don't have to be as aggressive. And that's what it is. Like it's like, oh, slow down, because we're not using a lot of energy. So it's which is a part of the process. You have to be smart with it. But you also don't want to work out your whole body 3 days in a row.
Yeah, no, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, terrible idea.
Terrible idea. Note to self, don't do that.
Yeah, that's called circuit training, by the way. You know that?
I did not.
Because you basically, it's a circuit, and you're doing every machine that does your whole body. And you do that within 30 to 60 minutes, depending.
Yes, but if you're doing circuit training, if you're doing it, I'm assuming if you're doing circuit training, it's every day or every few days?
Once a day. Once a year. Once
a year.
Do it once a millennium. No, you do it once. I know this episode is supposed to be about entertainment and like better ways to motivate yourself and stuff like that.
Well, good health is it's
a good motivational.
It's a good motivational thing, because if the more you work out, most of the time, it can help just have like a better mentality, because you're feeling. Getting all of like the endorphins.
Plus, in entertainment, you want to be in good shape. You want to have good. You actually, what I learned is you want better cardio than you want to be strong in entertainment, because you have to
work 18 hours a day.
The day's a long day.
Especially if you're on set, if you're filming.
And if you're on stage performing, even if it's theater or music, if you're running around and sweating, like you got to
definitely doing good cardio.
And if you're just surviving off of McDonald's, you don't care about yourself.
Yeah, no, it's like if you're working in entertainment, it's you're working really long hours, and it doesn't really matter what area of entertainment you're in. If you're in film, if you're in music, if you're a model, if you're in advertising, like
if you're making love,
that too.
Yeah. Well, I know you're more like 6 times in an hour.
That's terrible then.
Yes. Someone once said that to me. They go, I would rather go 6 times in an hour than last an hour. And I go, no, I definitely like the last. At least, I would like the last 30 minutes minimum. But you do want quickies. Quickies are passionate because sometimes it's just about the moment.
Especially if you're at a wedding.
What?
What?
Yeah, but the groom looks so good. How could I pass that up? Anyway, so motivate yourself. So JD writes music to motivate himself. We found out that I write music for me. JD writes music for some transcending experience in life. Is that why you talk to women?
So are you telling me that you write music just to go, oh, that's cool?
Yeah, it's in my head. It needs to get out.
But you don't feel.
I feel every day.
Well, you're feeling, your arms right now.
Yeah, my emotions, my tolerance
for this conversation.
What do you think?
So you're saying that you don't have a deeper emotional connection to your music. It's just, oh, this is cool.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do. But it has nothing to do with anyone else.
That wasn't the question.
My music is my religion. Same thing with my art and my creative, my books, my stories. The only thing, if I'm doing it for others, it's not artistic in my mind. For me.
I agree with that. So, but the way you were just saying it, it sounded as if you were like you just had an idea and you had to put it out. My question was just, it sounded like you didn't have an emotional connection to the art that you were making.
No, emotion projects creation. Even if you feel nil or a moot on a situation, that's an emotional reaction to something that influences creativity.
So, just so we're clear, you do have a deeper emotional connection to the art that you create.
Yes, JD.
Okay.
I'll simplify it for you. As layman's would be, as layman, as boring as I can be.
I don't really like chips.
That's not true. I've seen you eat chip, and he was very happy for it. He didn't give you a ticket, Oh, wait, that's because in LA, they're called the chips.
Yep, California Highway Patrol.
That's right. You like those little motorcycle drive.
Let go.
Oh, you hear that? Can someone put the baby to sleep? Anyway. Well, the better way. Now, we haven't really talked about the subject that you wanted to talk about today. We just talked about how we motivate ourselves and then working out. But how do you find better ways? How do you find ways to better motivate yourself? This is your subject. I have no idea what it's about.
Listen, you are a very motivational person. I think you.
Yeah, I have found the best ways to motivate myself, but I'm asking you, as an artist and trying to please other people, how do you find ways to better motivate yourself?
I think some of my biggest motivation is, I think, meeting you.
Oh, that's
and I'm
good.
Not saying this just to like butter you up right now.
Yeah, right. I love you too.
I think motivation can come down to just having the knowledge that anyone can literally do anything that they want in life, as long as they have the understanding that they have to do the research to see how things are done. It can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna throw all the sheets to the wind and hope for the best kind of thing.
Yeah, I've been trying to have a child for years. I'm still working on it.
I mean, you keep at it.
Yeah, I think I can get pregnant.
I believe it.
You said we could do anything we put our mind to, so I'm trying to get my mind.
Well, if you squeeze up too much like that, you might poo your pants.
Oh, it's in there.
Oh God, the poo has got a mouth.
Hey, get it out! It's precious.
No, but before I met you, I was always just like, oh, like if it happens, it happens. You have to get lucky. But you gave me knowledge. You gave me a different way of looking at life. You gave me a different way of looking at myself. And I think that understanding that like everyone has the ability to follow their dreams was a really big motivation. It wasn't just, oh, it just happens to random people. It happens to quote unquote special people. Like it can literally, as long as you
does happen to special people.
I mean, it does.
The special people are the people that say, I'm going to try it.
What I meant special is outside of my control.
Oh, yeah.
But having the knowledge that you gave, the knowledge that you teach is probably one of my biggest motivations.
Yeah. Now you just have to do it.
I mean, I haven't had a day job in 6 years. I mean,
How's
I'm
that
halfway
feel?
there.
Oh, yeah,
Great.
but according to other people, that means you're not doing well.
Whatever.
You need a day job. They're hiring over here at the supermarket. Remember when they said they would, and I was just like, yo, okay. I almost want to get a job there just so I get other people to quit, like in a group, and we leave at once.
So then,
but I'm the only one who's okay. I leave and like, yeah, and then I never talk to them again. They're all broke.
And then the supermarket that's near us shuts down because no one ever wants to work there, and then we have to find something.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I mean, that would be really
Taco
funny.
Bell.
Oh god, no.
Arby's.
No.
If you had to eat one fast food other than McDonald's all the time,
Checkers.
Oh, okay. Now, don't you think the plastic though would build up in you and not really be eaten away by your?
Worth it.
As long as it kings itself. As long as it kings itself.
Yeah, no. Checkers is my favorite fast food.
Chess is mine.
I wish there was a chess.
Hey, how good are you at Risk, by the way?
What?
How good are you at Risk?
Oh, I'm terrible.
What motivated you to get your ass kicked when playing?
Oh, I didn't have the motivation to get my ass kicked. I just gloated.
At what point were you like, I beat him? Like, were you like, I totally destroyed him? And you were like, I should say that out loud.
Probably by like the third game. But subconsciously, knowing you, I was like, he's letting me win.
No, I was just playing.
Yeah,
no, I was just playing. There's a difference.
Yeah, and you just playing is like, I'm gonna let them win because I will just win all.
It's not that I let you win. It's that I didn't try. Like I was just enjoying the time. That's the difference between me and most people when I play games. I'm just playing because I just want to play, and I just
you're like, this is fun.
And I already know that I'm better than 90% of the people in the world when it comes to games because it's a pattern-based system, and my brain is like a computer with patterns. Yeah, like I look at it, I go, all right, I won, and I was like,
no one placed the pieces on the board yet.
And then I'll change patterns. I'll be like, I'll just do this, and I'm like, crap, I won again. Like my brain just recalibrates. So I just try to play in the moment. Because I know I could become like a sore winner, and not because I want to, but just because I know I'm winning. Like I'll be like, all right, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I won, and I can't enjoy it. But if I'm just playing, as you say, letting others win, if I'm just existing in the game, I can enjoy it.
You're just like, I didn't look at where the pieces go.
One time I was playing chess with this guy, and we call him One Tooth Greg. For obvious reasons. He was a grown man in his 20s with one tooth. That's what drugs, cigarettes, and coffee does to you.
Meth.
Hope you enjoy your coffee. And anyway, he's like, you want to play chess with me? And I was like, yeah, I guess.
Whatever, One Tooth Greg.
Yeah, he didn't know I played chess, though. Like, he thought I was just, because he didn't look at me as I was intelligent, because I used to keep myself very...
humble.
Not humble, invisible. I wasn't very... I didn't want people to know I was existing because I was still in my study stage. I was still like, who are people? So I was like 30. No. So anyway, I was young. I was very young, and he's like, "You want to play chess?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess." So we're playing chess, and he's doing moves, and I'm literally just like, I'm just putting, pawn here, pawn there. Like I didn't care. Like I was just like. And he's like winning, and he keeps making these remarks like, "Oh Jesus, why would you do that?" And then by the way, he's did like 40 moves, 50 moves, and he beats me, right? And then he does it. He goes, "You want to play again?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And he's like, "All right, I'll go a little easy on you." I was like, "Okay, thanks, I appreciate that." And we set up the pieces. I put them on backwards. He goes, "No, like this, buddy." I was like, "All right." And then he beats me again after 40 or 50 moves. And he's like, Jesus, you ever played chess before? I was like, a couple times, He's like, oh, man, you really suck. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then I beat him in 2 moves. He fell for like the oldest trick in the book. And I was like, because I was watching him. I knew what he was going to do.
I love how it sounds like when you and I played chess, like when I first moved to LA and we got like the chess with friends.
I beat you in 3 moves, though.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, you want to play chess? I was like, and you're like, yeah, sure, let's play chess. And then we played a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I said I enjoy it, but I wasn't necessarily good.
Yeah, I noticed.
And then you're like, oh, are you good? I'm like, we'll find out. So you did the 3-move thing just to test. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not that good. You're like, all right.
Yeah. You know someone's really bad at chess when they let you take their entire board and then it's just the king left and you have like 6 pieces still. Look, the thing is, I'm really good at games, and that's why.
Well, you're a pattern guy.
Yeah, I literally can. That's why I was so good at the IQ test. I feel I have a low IQ. I'm just really good at because math. Like when you take the math section, you're like, it's math. Like 2 and 2 is always going to be 4. I don't have to add that. I don't have to go 2, 3, 4, or even 5 and 7 is always going to be 12. Like I don't have to because. Well, because 7 to 5 is 6, and that's 2 6s is 12. It's just like that's how my brain. But I don't add. None of that is happening in my head. I just know, or you get like 10.
Or the thing with the 11s that you do.
I love the 11 things. But if it was like 15 plus 5, I know that 5 and 5 is 10, so it's automatically 20. But I'm not adding 5 to I'm not like 15, 16, 17. I just know that 5 plus 5 is 10, so that means it has to be 20. And that's all right.
Math is always going to be math.
You want me to do the 11 thing?
We can do the 11 thing.
All right. So if it was like 62 times 11,
he could take
682.
It's every double number.
It's a
11?
double number times 11. So if it was 22 times 11, I already know it's 242. Like
And if you're watching this after the live, you can pause it and do the math yourself.
Yeah, if you want to.
77 times 11.
77 times 11 would obviously be 847.
Check them.
Well, because 7 and 7 is 14. Add 10 to 7 is 8. So it's 84.7.
Ooh.
How do you not do this? How can you not do math?
Because I'm a musician. I can only count to 4.
What's 7 plus 4? How do you not know it's 11? It's just math. Are you good at math?
Not really.
What's 10 and 10?
20.
All right. If you take 5 from that, what is it?
15.
That's right. Now, if you take 10 minus 5 plus 10, what is that?
10 minus 5 plus 10 is 20. Oh, sorry. 15.
I love the confidence. It's 20. All I did was just change the math. I said
10
minus 5
plus 10.
All right, you are bad at math. Can you do 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 and 4 is 8, 8 and 8, 16, 16, 16, 32, 32, 32, 64, 64, 64 is 128, 128, 128 is 3. Can you do that? Can you?
Not that quick.
Why not?
Because I'm not good at math.
But I'm not adding. That's the thing. It's just I have a photographic memory.
So you're telling me that you actually have like a normal IQ? You just have a photographic memory. You just have a Rolodex.
I have like a 70 IQ, so I'm just as smart as a dolphin. But because I have a photographic memory.
How funny would that be?
I used to read books a long time ago before audio, but like for school, and then I would sleep. And then the teachers would be like, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. I was like, well, just give me the test. And then I passed the test, and then they fail me because they're like, you cheated. I was like, impossible.
Prove it.
And I was like, tell me something in the book. I'll tell you what chapter it's in. And then they'd be like, your son is crazy. And they put me in like special ed classes. And then I literally was sitting next to a guy with a drool cup and another person in a wheelchair, like folded over themselves with a proctor. And I was like, I am in the wrong class. There's no way I belong in this class. They're asking them what blue tastes like. And people are literally raising their hands going, 5.
Yeah, that is definitely not your class.
I had
go ahead.
It's
like the episode of Malcolm in the Middle where they had the entire like special needs class, and then someone asked like a question like, why is it like a car drove by, and they're like, why is it that the sound of a car sounds different than when it goes away? And then one of the guys just like comes out and says exactly like the theory as to like why that happens. Yeah. And like, oh, I understood that. And then they start getting all these sciencey things, and like the special ed teacher is just like, what?
They're all smart. That's funny. That's funny.
That show is genius.
That was yeah. What I like about it is that they never caught the father selling meth on the side.
Yeah.
He was naked in that show like all the time.
He was.
Bryan Cranston, right? Remember the episode where the mother was like shaving his crotch or something?
Or he's shaving his back.
Oh shit, yeah. But he was naked.
Yep.
And he had his
He's,
like
in
leg
the
up.
kitchen.
Yeah. He's reading the newspaper.
Yeah, like the kids are getting ready for like school, and he's like, "Have a good day, kids."
That show was why he almost didn't get the role of
Breaking Bad.
Walter
White.
Yeah, because of that. They were like, no. And then they showed him something else. He was doing something.
He's such a good actor. He's so versatile. He can literally do like anything.
Yeah. He's pretty good. And he's now a producer and everything. But anyway.
Well, he owns his own production company.
Yeah, as you should. Even if you're a musician, you should own something. You should either have a production company for producing music, or you should have a record label, or you should have whatever. You should have a promotion company. You should have something.
You should own every ability to say yes to yourself and others.
Yeah, because in the end, you want your company to make money, and then you pay yourself a salary. That's the thing with entertainers and artists and stuff. They think like if they get paid, let's say like I'm a painter and I get $100,000 for that painting. They're like, I got $100,000. And it's like, no, you didn't. Don't take that $100,000. Put that $100,000 into your company to afford your company, and then just pay yourself a salary. Even if your salary is $40,000 a year, don't pay yourself the whole $40,000 though.
Pay it
like a salary.
Yeah,
like a bi-weekly or a bi-monthly, depending. Bi-monthly would be 15 and the end of the month, and then bi-weekly would literally just be every 2 weeks. And you do that for tax reasons.
Isn't bi-monthly every other month? Because it's bi-monthly.
Why don't you look it up? So I'm right.
I was asking.
I'm telling you, it's the 15th and the end of the month.
So wouldn't that be bi-weekly?
Sure, JD.
Every 2 weeks.
Between the two of us, who owned a company for several years before you met me?
You did.
All right. Ask me how I paid people at the theater.
I'm assuming the 15th and the 30th.
That's right. Well, no, the bi-monthly. So it would be the 30th to the 31st or the 28th. Why would you? I know why you would think it's, but this again is you're loosely basing it off the only thing you know.
But no, I'm asking for clarification.
I clarified it.
So then that's the 15th. You said the 15th and the 30th.
No, the 15th and the end of the month.
15th and the end of the month. Sorry.
Is bi-monthly.
So then, if you're paying bi-weekly,
yeah,
that's potentially
every 2 weeks.
The 15th.
Sure, go ahead, do this one. Go ahead, because some months
have 5
weeks. But go ahead.
All right, I guess that makes sense.
No. Come on, this is a clarifier.
Well, I was getting clarification.
I gave you clarification with the exact answer when I said what is bisexual? That's right.
Being attracted to both
when
sexes.
You pay for sex.
Check, please.
Isn't it every 2 months? No, JD, that is incorrect. But there is tax breaks. JD can explain it to you.
Yeah, you take a tax and you break it.
Anyway, if you got paid a chunk of money. So if you're a band, what you should be doing is whatever money the band makes, either through a tour or an album, should go into a business account. And then you as band members should take a salary. Now, what is that salary? Honestly, if the company the company should have 3 months to 6 months in the bank before you start touching money. Because at that point, not only is the company surviving on its own, but it allows you the ability to not have to ask people for money, and you could start setting up bigger and better things. And then you increase your pay as the company increases its earnings. And that's how,
as a reward for doing your job.
As a reward. But some people, we made 30 grand. We're going to pay ourselves 30 grand. And then now you're broke.
Oh.
And then you're like, what do you want to do? Well, I don't want to spend my own money to do that thing. It's like, if only we had money. And it's like, well, you could have, but you're an idiot.
Yep.
Even actors, like performers, they don't think like that. They just go, I got $300 for this shoot. Yeah, I made $300. And that is why we create foundations. And that's what my motivation was for getting those jobs. I wanted to have a foundation so every dollar I made, I could utilize that money to start organizing it, to start investing and protect myself and all these other little things, which allowed me, in a sense, to be able to go to Florida for a year to be with my father, then come back, open up an office again. Then a year later, open up a theater. I brought in a partner to handle the crazy stuff, but I couldn't do that if I didn't take all that time I was doing, throughout the years and go, well, how do I have money? You know, imagine I would have had to work a job.
That would have just been like the worst thing ever.
Oh, dude, I would have killed myself. I would just.
I'm glad you didn't go down that route.
Working for people was literally my motivation. Because
like, I hate this.
I hated every job I've ever had that I wasn't doing what I loved. I hated absolutely without even not even like. Never was I like, man, I could go up in this business. I was like, how do I leave? How do I leave? And sometimes I'd be like, how do I leave respectfully? And it wasn't until I worked at King Cullen and that store manager gave me that speech and then just dropped the keys off and went for a better job that I was like, I will never, ever give my soul to any company. And, you know, like when you work for some companies, like if you work for Home Depot, like,
unless it's a company that you made.
You believe, yeah, unless it's a company you made. Because you're in control of that. And if I'm in control of it, I could treat you or anyone else that works with me like
a human being.
Yeah. But the thing is, they'll never be it for your company. That's the other thing. So if I hire, say, somebody off the street and I go, you're working for me, they're only working for me until they want to. They're not in it to win it. They're in it to get paid. And now, how do I trust them? So I can pay them and be like, all right, as long as I pay them, they'll be here. But what if they find a better job in their mind because it pays more? So now I put all that time into training them. I paid them. I gave them a little bit more extra money. I gave them bonuses. I did special things for them. And then the first second they get, they leave. And that is something I deal with because I believe in loyalty. And again, if you want a better job, great. But at the same time, loyalty, so.
And I think that, you giving people basically not basing their pay and their reward off of like a salary, I think is you giving them the ability to grow that interest in working together and not just, oh, I'm going to pay you. It's like, oh, you have to work for it. And if they put in the work, obviously they want to be there. They want to see everything grow. They want to have that team mentality.
Yeah. I mean, if I ever get to the point where like I have a building again and there's like offices and stuff like that, I will pay people like a flat rate. And then I'll go, look, if we hit these numbers, everyone gets a bonus.
Yeah. Because you're making sure everyone's able to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Also, can we get like a really nice like cappuccino machine?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Could put it outside in the cold.
I mean,
because you got to be really motivated to get it.
Also, it'll keep you warm in the cold.
Yeah. No, but like and also I think the bonuses in my mind would be even instead of like, well, I'm the CEO, so I get the biggest bonus. No, it's like
everyone pulled their weight.
Yeah, so we get a bonus.
Yeah.
Whatever. But people don't think like that. They're not motivated to think like a business because they don't have the freedom to make the choice to organize their money because in their mind, I need to pay my bills.
They're not taught. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the understanding of how to create that foundation. So therefore, they're not motivated to try something else because they're afraid to take the risk because they feel that they don't have the stability to say yes.
Well, every time I sit with a client, the moment I explain how much money they have to save before they can take a calculated risk, they look at me like I'm insane. And I go, well, it could be less if you want to budget better. But they're like, it's like $36,000. And you're like, it's 18 months. Sell your car then. I need a car. Do you need that car?
Do you live in Brooklyn?
Yeah. Do you live in Brooklyn?
No, you don't.
And that right there is very telling of people because they want to just be making money. I need to afford my bills. Well, work your job, work 2 jobs, save up that money, then quit. Well, then how am I going to make money? You don't have to make money right. You have 18 months of life paying you to go and work within your field. And then as you make money in your field, because you have that safety net of 3 to 6 months, because you have the 18-month foundation, every dollar you make, you get to do the 60-40 split. And you get to put 60% into security, growth, and dream. Now you're growing your protection, you're growing your investment money, and you're growing money to reward yourself while still putting that 40% back into your foundation so your safety net doesn't reach the 3 to 6 month threshold. I've told many people, I've even told you this. Mm-hmm. And I remember you coming to me, you're like, hey, I'm going to go to LA. And I was like, do you have 18 months? You're like, no. And I was like, okay. I wouldn't do it. And you're like, yeah, but I have all these other things. I was like,
Still need the ability to say yes.
you still need 18 months. No, I'll be fine. Okay. And you've dealt with certain things because you didn't have that 18 months.
Yep.
And the same thing with one of the other clients I had that did really well. They still ended up in a situation where they didn't, they got to that point. They were like, I don't have how do I invest money? You said I'd be able to invest money. I says, if you had 18 months foundation, you would have been able to take every dollar you took and divide it by 60-40. And they were like, oh. And I was like, yeah, why do you think I said you shouldn't do it until you have 18 months? Well, you said I could do it if I had 12 months or 8 months. I was like, yeah, that means you have 6. What is it, 6 from 8? I'll tell you, it's just 2 months, Jimmy. So I go, every dollar you made where you can still maintain that 6-month overhead, where did you put that money? Oh, right into my bank account. Oh, you weren't organizing it? Whose fault is that? Is that mine? And that's the thing. Some clients, they blame me. Oh, I'm not successful yet. Did you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, Z? No, I did H. H was fun. H was the performing. I love being on stage.
It's like, all right, well, that's why you're not doing it.
Yeah. Hi. Or my favorite, I'm not getting any work. Are you networking? Well, I interact with people on social media. Yeah. So you want things to happen, you got to reach out.
Touch faith.
You got to reach out. Be proactive. When in doubt, reach out. That's a networking technique. When in doubt, reach out, because people are too busy to remember you. You have to be present to remember them,
and you have to be proactive to take the initiative, make the initiative to stay in touch.
Yeah, the motivation you should be finding within yourself is absolutely the ideal that you are the divine truth in your proactiveness. However, you are not the result of your success, because remember, your success has nothing to do with you. It has to do with everyone else. But if you're not making proactive decisions and you're not choosing to do, or in this situation, you are capable if you start. If you don't start, you can't do anything. And when you start blaming your lack of success because of whatever, just look at your triangle of life. That's it. I tell people to memorize it. Watch, JD. What are the 5 sides of a triangle of life? You've only known me since 2013, so go ahead.
Network, market, practice.
What side is that?
That is the network, market, practice side.
What is that called? What is that side called?
3 needs of purpose?
Nope. Try again. You got 4 more
Longevity?
sides. Nope.
I don't know.
3 needs of success. Keep
3
going.
needs of success.
All right. And your 3 needs of success are what?
Network, market, practice.
All right. So if you're not finding yourself successful by your definition of whatever success is, you look at it and you go, am I networking, marketing, and practicing to build and strengthen my strengths and weaknesses? What are the other sides?
There's the 3 needs of purpose.
Okay. What are those? You should have these memorized.
Security,
people.
growth, and dream.
That's right. Now, if you're saying, man, I don't feel I have the wealth to afford my purpose, to fuel my purpose. You say to yourself, do I have security saved up? Do I have investment money saved up that I actually have utilized into assets? And do I have the right to do something to reward myself? Did I have the right to buy that thing I couldn't afford? And if you're just spending money that you don't have saved up into that reward, now you know why. All right, what are the other sides?
3 needs of longevity.
Okay, what are those?
Management of time, money, and people.
And management is the first one.
Management, time, money, and people. So it's management.
You should have these memorized, people.
I should.
Go ahead. You're almost there. All right. Well,
assets.
Just think outside the box.
What? I don't know.
Did you just use a whole side for what? All right. Anyway, 3 needs of longevity. He doesn't have this memorized because I just taught it to him in 2013.
Yep.
What was one of the first things I said to you after I showed you the triangle?
Write this down.
No, more specifically.
I don't know.
I said memorize it. Why?
Because I'm gonna need it.
Because anytime you feel something's not happening, or you feel left, behind, or you're not hitting your goals,
take a look at the triangle and make sure that
I'm
working all 5 sides.
Are you doing the sides, even at a minimum? And by the way, the 3 needs of longevity, which is the second side, is for management, entrepreneurial brain, and talent. Management of your time, money, and people. You need to take back control. Management of your time allows you to have the freedom to do what you do and not be controlled by the things you do. The management of money gives you the opportunity to rely on the choice of yes and no because you could afford your overhead. And then the management of people are A, the people you surround yourself with, B, how you delegate and or choose to be led by other people, and so forth and so forth. I could go on for hours on that. And then entrepreneurial brain is finding solutions outside the box with a proactive method, right? Thinking outside the box, right? So basically, instead of being a no person, you're saying, well, how else can I do this? Right? So, I can't do this. How about, all right, that way seems like it's going to have issues. How do we find another way to that source, right? And then talent. Talent is, what do I bring to the table? How does what I do influence the situation? Do I add to it? Do I take away from it? How can I add from it? Would I be a better leader in this situation, or would I be better at following? Can I, these are things that you would be able to acknowledge in any situation. If you know what your talents are, when you walk into a situation on set or on stage or wherever, you go, what am I bringing to this other than I am a star, or I can perform, or I'm a musician, or, oh, I play lead guitar. You can't. I'm the lead guitarist. Or I'm the lead actor. What do you mean I only have one line? I can't do the show. I have to do more. I need 18 lines minimum.
What if the character is mute, but they're the main character?
Well, then, then I tell people, well, there were, before talkies existed, you had silent film, right? Anyway, and you just kind of look, and then your 8 assets of life, which is your, do you know what the assets are? I like hearing these. Come on,
You got it.
Do you know at least one of them? Assets. All right. So you have your 2 to 5 year, which is what? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and intellectual properties.
And
then your 6 to 10 years is what?
Property.
Well, real estate. Business. IOUs. Commodities. Very good. All right, you got this down. Anyway, so if you're not investing into these assets, you're not growing wealth. Wealth allows you the time for time and money. So wealth is the amount of time you can go without having to recoup. So if you're continuing to grow your wealth, you're continuing your ability to say yes, to do the things you want to do, not because you have to pay bills, but because you want to do what you do passionately, right? And people look at me like I'm crazy. And you're not the only client I've ever had that still doesn't have it memorized. And then they still say, oh, this was happening, or why did I feel like it was slowing down? And I always say the same thing.
Look at the triangle.
And they go, I have the notes somewhere on my book. Well, have you been reading the book? No. Well, where is the book? In a box. All right, well, why do I care that it's written down? Under the wall. I threw it out. But that's the other thing. Is like, well, why are you telling me it's in a box? Why are you telling me it's in a book? Why are you telling me you wrote it down? That's not what I'm asking. Man, do you know the triangle? And you should know the triangle for anything. You think I sit here and go, oh, what do I do? No, if I ever feel like something's slowing down, I just go,
what am I not doing?
Yeah, let me do a little bit more, of something. I used to give people these sheets, and they would, if they, whatever they did for the day, they would put a 1. Doop, doop, doop. And then the next day, if they did it, it goes up to a 2 or a 1 or whatever. And you could see what you're doing more of or less of. And you know what's funny? Usually when they give me that sheet at the end of the week, either they didn't do it, or if they did it, it was like focused on their arts. I practiced a lot this week.
And you're like, well, you didn't do any of the other stuff.
Yeah. You want to know why no one knows who you are? No marketing done. No networking done. No,
you didn't leave your bedroom.
You didn't. Yeah. I did. I had to pee.
I mean, semantics.
I don't think any Jews were harmed in the making of this. What do you? Because we're anti-Semitic. No, you're not anti-Semitic. I'm not.
I'm one of them self-hating anti-Semites.
Oh my God. The only Jewish person I hate is my brother.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's
he's a rabbi.
A rabbi?
A rabbi, because
he'll rob you.
Because he'll rob you. Hello, this is for the
but
Christ
he'll do it in a
God.
kosher way.
Yeah, he doesn't use meat. He doesn't use meat to hit you.
Meat and dairy.
Yeah, meat and dairy. Actually, that's how he punished. You're going to hell. Here's some milk and here's some meat.
Okay, no.
I'm not Jewish. Oh, my plan has backfired.
Thanks for the burger, though.
Yeah, you're still not going to heaven by being a criminal. What do you mean?
I don't get it.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Dear God.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Anyway,
Speaking of motivation,
I'm hungry.
what's for dinner?
Hey, what do you want to eat?
Burgers.
Burgers?
No, we don't. We have
We have-
buns.
I think we have. No. Do we have no.
We don't have
I
any more
don't know
scallops
why.
because I definitely made those.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are really good. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, you know what we could use? Could use the things. The bagels.
Ooh, we do got bagels.
We have 6 left. Oh no, 3
Bagels.
left. We have 3. No,
Mm.
4 left. We have enough.
Woohoo! High five.
Woo! All right. What are the sides of the triangle?
Up, down, left, right, front, and back.
Define marketing.
When you go to the store.
Oh
and
my
get
God.
lettuce.
What is wealth? Define wealth.
How long you can go without having to recoup money.
Oh, good. All right. There you go.
Ooh, high five.
Yeah, because it's the money one. All right. What is success?
Making a living within your field of interest.
All right. What's a living?
Living is, going by a budget that you've made up and not a lifestyle.
What? You just added. You mixed up things.
I did not have the exact words, but
A living is within a
Within a budget.
controlled budget. That's
and
right.
not a lifestyle.
What's the difference between budgeting and a budget?
Budgeting is coming up with
No.
the-
I'll just stop you there so you don't
Okay,
waste
good.
our times. What you were defining was a budget. Budgeting is the act of. So a budget is a controlled, capped, or allocated
and
system
budgeting,
is maintaining that budget and also keeping track and writing stuff down. So I
but
am
it's specifically maintaining. It's not coming up with the budget.
correct.
Okay.
Though the act of in the definition of the dictionary is I am budgeting is correct. But in the way we teach, a budget is the thing that is and budgeting
It's sticking
is,
to that
is
budget.
sticking to the
Yeah.
And you might adjust it here and there, but a budget ultimately is the caps and the allocations and the papas and the poo-poos and the kakas.
Well, that's
Do you know what
that's
kaka is? You know
Yeah.
what kaka is? Kaka?
Yeah, it's a.
Do you like kaka?
The bird makes.
Kaka! 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 Look at the bird. Do you know why the
How'd that get in here?
who?
The bird.
All right. What motivates you to date women? Like, why do you date women? Like,
Uh,
why do you choose? Why are you like, I need a woman in my life? What is the motivation for that?
The motivation for me to be in a relationship with
Anyone.
a woman is
Just one woman, only,
any particular woman.
but only
is-
one woman. If you're in a relationship, you just want that one woman all to yourself, so she can't have a life, right?
No,
Okay. So, what motivates you to be with multiple women in a relationship?
if I feel that I have a personal connection with them.
Wait, but that's not the motivation. That's the stipulation. My stipulation is I have to have an emotional connection with them to have them in a relationship. But what is the motivation to go and be with somebody and be like, I need a woman in my life or several?
That person just fills me with.
Yeah, that's that's the stipulation. That's what they need to do to be in that relationship.
What's the motivation?
motivation to want that?
To have connection with anyone.
Oh, you want to connect with people,
I do want to connect
but
with people.
specifically a female. So
Yeah.
you want to have sex with someone because you can connect with a guy.
I could connect with a guy.
So you want to have sex with a guy.
No,
So then back to the relationship part. What do you mean? You can't connect with a friend? You can only connect. So that I'm trying to understand. You're saying I want to be able to connect with another person. And I specifically asked about a relationship. Are we fine? Are you bisexual?
I'm not.
All right. So what do you mean?
I think that you've made me confused in this conversation.
So you're not even out of the closet yet.
No,
You're like,
what?
do I open it? Do I not open it? Do I open it? Do I not? So what is your motivation to be with one or more females or a dude?
Oh, the emotional connection, and then I guess you're implying that there's also the want and desire for sexy time.
So you don't want sex with women?
I do.
Oh, so that's why you want to be in a relationship.
That's not what.
That's the motivation?
That is not the motivation.
The motivation is emotional. So you can't be emotional with men.
I can be emotionally
Oh, so why
connected
women?
with.
I'm trying to understand you. So let me get this straight. Your motivation to be with a woman is for sexy time and an emotional connection.
Yes.
Hey, ladies, he's available. He's totally available. Obviously not emotionally. Let me get this straight. I need to write a book about you. This is crazy. Javier, the adventures of Javier the lover. Well, what else? What else? What else is your motivation to be like, I need a girl in my life for a relationship specifically, or more than one? I don't know.
Well, I don't have a desire
Apparently
to
you're
have
bisexual.
anyone.
Well, I didn't say a desire. I said a motivation.
Well, I don't have a motivation to specifically just be like, oh, I need to have a woman in my life.
Yeah, but I was asking, what is your motivation to have a woman in your life? Like, what motivates you to be like, I need a woman in my life?
Oh, I gave you my answer, and you're telling me that that's not the correct. That's not correct.
Well, if she connects with you emotionally, that's not a motivation. That's a stipulation. That's something she has that goes, all right, I want to be in a relationship with them. But what motivates you to say, I want to go out and find a woman? What motivates you to be like, if I find a woman that has these qualities?
Well, I don't go out of my way to go and do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is the motivation to even accept the idea of like, so you're saying you've never sat down and been like, it'd be nice to have a girlfriend.
I have.
All right. What is the motivation for that?
But I do not. I no longer think that way.
Yeah,
so you're asking me currently now.
No, I'm asking
what
you.
My process is.
What is your motivation? So,
well, I'm trying to tell you, I don't have a desire to go out and just find someone to be in a relationship.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about motivation.
I don't have motivation to go out and find someone to be in a relationship with.
So you're not interested in women anymore?
I didn't say that either.
Are you interested in men?
I'm not interested in
Would you sleep with a man if it was a woman?
So a woman? Then yes.
If it was a woman that used to be a man,
then probably not.
Why not?
Because
transphobic?
No.
Oh, homophobic?
No.
You don't like vaginas?
I like vaginas.
Well, they would have a vagina.
Is it technically a vagina?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know.
I don't have an answer for this deeply incriminating conversation.
This is a very...
I'm motivated not to answer you, JD. All right. So you like, you're saying you don't want to be in a relationship with a woman.
I didn't say that either. Because when I was younger, my motivation was I needed to conform to what people have said what you need in society. You need to be in a relationship. You need to have a partner. You need to be married and whatnot. So that was my motivation to find.
So you were just trying to fill that.
Correct.
Okay.
And my previous dating history has led to a lot of not so very good choices and a lot of very unhealthy relationships.
You're not married with kids, and
no.
You don't have like grandkids yet or anything. Jesus, and you're in your 30s. God.
I know. This was
what
like
did they call that in the old
times.
days? What did they call when you're not like settled in by like your 30s? They call it. There's a word in Hebrew for it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know this one.
For females that are like a female that's 30 something, they don't have it. They're like, it was not a charlatan because that's somebody who cheats. That's a
charlatan is someone who's like,
it's like a
lies.
hussy.
No.
I thought like a female charlatan is like a hussy. Like
you mean a harlot?
Harlot, but
a charlatan is someone who like
maybe it is
who's like a scam artist.
Yeah, like a cheat, like a. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I know what I'm saying. All right. I don't want to be the one that looks up everything. All right, because then we'll have just dead air. All right. So now what is it?
I don't go out of my way specifically to find a relationship, but if I do like to meet people, I like to.
So what is that motivate? That's what I'm saying. What is the motivation to even be interested in meeting people?
In general?
Yeah. Well, females for the potential of, hey, maybe something will happen out of that.
I don't have a separate motivation to find a relationship. I just interact with people because I genuinely like interacting with people.
And then if get nudes,
I mean, that's just a bonus.
Now, are you motivated by the nudes, or are you just like, hey, I feel the emotion?
I'm not necessarily motivated by the nudes.
Yeah.
But again,
have you ever showed your best friend your penis?
Not on purpose. You're welcome.
No. I was motivated to poke my eyes out.
But then that would have been the last thing you saw.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, like I've been saying to him, I could have went my whole life without seeing that, but because I have a photographic memory, I am now going to go my whole life seeing that. Anyway, so you're not motivated to find people, but you do still put yourself out there to talk to people that are females.
Yes, and
for what purpose? Like, what motivates you to do that?
And males as well, because I just like talking with people.
Oh, because you like wherever it goes, you're happy.
Pretty much.
Because like if you connect with a guy, you're like, fuck it.
Well, I'm not gonna fuck it.
Would you cuddle it?
If it was cold.
Would you really?
Listen, if the heat
you
goes
would
out,
cuddle it.
listen,
Oh.
if the heat goes out, we are cuddling.
No, no, we're not. Absolutely not. You could cuddle with me if you wait outside. I'll lock the doors. Only because when I fall asleep, I get a hard on, and I don't want you to take advantage of me.
Well, that's why you have period.
Because I know what your motivations really are. I'm gonna go down the fire pole. Get off my pole. All right. So you have no interest in women.
I do have interest in women.
Just not in a relationship.
That is not what I said either. I said I am not motivated to solely go out and do that.
All right. So do you have a motivation?
I have a motivation to connect with people.
Just anybody.
Anybody.
Doesn't matter. Male, female, male, female, male.
Female, male?
Male, female. You don't care.
Yes, but there's going to be no sexy time between me and a man.
So you don't. What about the ladies?
Potentially, because I am sexually attracted to women.
Do they know you're not motivated to be in a relationship?
It's not that I'm not It's not that I'm saying no to a relationship. I'm saying my intentions are not strictly because I want to be in a relationship.
Oh, not strictly. So there is a sense of you do want to be in a relationship.
If I feel the connection with somebody, then yes.
So,
but what I'm saying is I'm not motivated to find a relationship. I am motivated to connect with people and talk with people and get to know people. If it happens that I feel a deep connection with someone.
And get trapped, yeah.
Well, definitely not going to get trapped.
Yeah, okay. I already have money on this one.
Yeah, no.
I have several monies on several situations, and I already know which one I'm going to win on. All right, so if one of these girls, you start talking to them, do you start it off with, hey, I just want you to know, I'm just trying to build a friendship with you. I have no motivation for a relationship.
No, because I usually just start off by going,
so you're not honest
hey.
with them.
I'm not going to open up with the conversation and go, hey.
What if they are talking to you with the expectation of a relationship?
Well, if the conversation comes up, then I'll be, or if I feel that this is where something's going, then I'll be honest about how I feel.
All right.
I'm not going to just go, hey, I'm JD. I don't want a relationship, because that's weird.
Well, you'd be surprised how powerful communication is.
Well, I didn't say I wasn't communicating. I'm just saying,
you are not if you keep it in.
I didn't say I was keeping it in. You're making it sound like I should start off the conversation.
Absolutely.
By going,
you don't tell a woman what you want when you go on a date or if you meet somebody.
I'm saying I get to know the person as an individual, and then when the conversation comes up, I bring it up. I'm not saying I go, hi, I've never met you before. My name's JD. I don't ever want to have a relationship.
You didn't say that. You said you are not searching for a relationship right now. You're not motivated for a relationship right now. So
no, I said I'm not motivated to meet people to find a relationship.
So then why would you say you never want a relationship?
Well, why would you say I would introduce myself and then say, hey, I don't want a relationship?
No, I said, hey, I'm not motivated to find a relationship. I'm just looking to make friends right now.
I mean, if I was on a dating app and that came up, I would say that.
Why would you be on a dating app?
Exactly.
You got to get off a grinder. It's not working for you.
I know. They don't have any of these sea salt grinders.
I have left swiped every once in a while. I'm like, nope.
All these women have beards.
Oh, a trans. It's kind of like. All right. So, well, what motivates you in a friendship with a female to maintain that potential growth?
If I feel there's an emotional connection between me and that person.
That is not a motivation.
Well, then I don't have an answer for you.
Motivation compels you to do something. It is not what creates the interest. So their emotional interest in you is what you go, ooh. All right. But the motivation is why you're even making an effort towards it.
My motivation then is that, if I'm continuing talking to anybody and building a friendship or any kind of relationship, is that relationship makes me feel good.
Oh, so it's about you.
Apparently.
Well, all right. If it makes you feel good, is that about them?
It is not.
So that's about you.
any relationship that we,
Yeah.
build, do we not have at least a little bit of selfish intent by going, oh, I enjoy how this person makes me feel?
I'm not judging. It's not a negative thing to be selfish. Sometimes you gotta be, right? Now, so if the girl, because you have to have boundaries, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So those boundaries are selfish, but boundaries are good. You need boundaries. But what about like what about her feelings?
Well, they're very valid too.
But what if she doesn't like you, but she makes you feel good? Will you just be
then I wouldn't continue that relationship.
You'd be like, we got to stop, John.
A boy named Sue?
David, listen, I'm not feeling this. No, seriously, I'm not even going to touch it.
No, but of course.
Yeah. Keep going. This is good stuff.
Of course their feelings and their emotions are valid.
All right.
If they were not happy with the relationship, then I wouldn't.
Well, there's no relationship yet. You're the one who's just happy with them. We haven't discovered if they're happy with you yet.
Listen, any kind of friendship in general is a relationship. Friendship, whether it's just
penis or no penis.
Penis or no penis.
But you prefer no penis. So you don't want to even be friends with penis.
I'm friends with you. Are you saying you don't have a penis?
No, I'm saying more like a brother.
Detachable?
So I don't care. I'm like family. You're stuck with me. It doesn't matter if I have a penis or not. You're not even. There's no way you could sleep with me, even if I was a girl.
I mean, that's true.
Because you'd be like, oh, this is like my sister.
Very hairy, bearded sister.
Yeah. Even though you grew up with no sisters, so you wouldn't know how to act with a sister.
I have one brother that was supposed to be his sister. Does that count?
Yeah, but he was the firstborn.
No, he was the secondborn.
Oh, who was the firstborn?
Me.
Yeah, exactly. See how I turned that around, folks? That's called genius level IQ. All right, so let me get this right. So when you desire a woman because she makes you happy, when do you ask her if she's happy?
I feel like if you're in a relationship, it's whether it's something that's more than a friendship or if it is just a friendship, it's kind of obvious by someone giving you their time.
Is it now? All right. This is interesting. So I created a thing called TAC. You know what TAC is?
Yes.
What is it?
The art of conversation.
That's right. And what are the rules of TAC?
Know what to say, when to say, and why to say.
That's right. If you notice, what's the word at the end of all three of those rules?
Say.
In communication, our physical presentation is not necessarily always the truth of our inner truth. So I can appear calm and happy, but I might not be calm and happy. So when you say what you just said, there has been no conversation. And that's why communication is really important. So just because you're happy and they're giving you their time doesn't necessarily mean they are happy. Would you agree or disagree?
I can agree.
So that's when I say, when would you find out she's happy?
But then you're also run into the possibility that if you were to start having a conversation, that there is the possibility that people could be untrue.
And then what's your boundary with untruth?
Well, that you would have to discover that they were not telling the truth.
And what would happen when you discovered that?
Then you don't deal with that because you shouldn't deal with liars.
You break it off. Now, if you are under the assumption
or at least put it at a very, very far in the box away. If
you're talking to someone where you feel there's a chance they're not telling you the truth, you're in the wrong relationship.
I agree 100%.
So but again, you're saying, well, then there's a chance that they're going to lie to you. So are you saying don't ask them?
No.
All right. So then what is the point to what you just said?
I'm just saying, if you have to be attuned to people when you're interacting with them.
And how do you become in tune with them?
Well, communication, like you just said, is a starting point.
Is the starting point. But believe it or not, is it just communication?
No.
What is
actions speak louder than words.
No, it's understanding. So communication is the ability to speak freely. Understanding is the comprehension. To be able to comprehend what someone's saying. Because you might not know my full actions. You might not know what my physical being is. All right. Because of whatever reason, I may be hiding it from you, or you haven't discovered it, or then not enough time has gone by. Of course, there'll be moments where if you're with somebody for X amount of time, eventually you're going to be like, oh, they're doing their, because everyone has patterns. But that doesn't necessarily mean, especially in the beginning of a relationship, where if you're being happy by them, it's honestly, when would you ask them if they were happy? And your response was, which is very telling, by the way. Yeah, but there's a chance that they won't be telling you the truth. But yet you were willing and ready to rely on your answer of, well, you can see it. So that's interesting. I'm finding some.
I find that I tend to have gut feelings that I don't listen to when it comes to relationships.
No, that's not true.
Oh no, there are definitely moments in my life where
no way.
And then I have personally experienced people who have lied. So my thing is
avoid all human connection.
No.
I will make out with you, but I will have to leave promptly. Touch my pee-pee.
Beep boop.
Beep boop. I love this experience. Bye.
I feel that people's actions speak a lot louder than their words. Always.
Oh, that's fair to say. I would like to add that actions speak the truth of the words. So if there's nothing being said, you can't base the actions on anything.
Well, that would be the louder then, because they're not saying anything, so therefore there's no sound coming out.
Yeah, but if I'm acting truthfully or I'm acting compassionately, it doesn't necessarily dictate my truth. You understand? I can be giving to you of my time, but there could be an ulterior motive, and the only way you can learn that is by listening to them. And if you're not listening to them to truly hear them, and you're just exposed to the greatness of the feelings they give you, you're no longer having a conversation with them. You're just enjoying their presence for you. And that's why it brings us back to, all right, so it's about you. But all you had to say was, well, I would tell them how I feel and see how they felt. But I'm just saying, I'm not judging it. This is why I love conversation. This is why I love the study of communication, because everything you said dictated betrayal or or deception. None of it was like, oh, I would just tell them. No, you were like, how do I not talk to them? I'll just watch them. I'll be like, well, they come over. They came over with cookies, so they love me. But then it turns out they've been poisoning you slowly.
Funny story.
Funny story. By the way, have I told you my addiction for Australian cookies? But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not judging. I'm just listening to, and I'm just as a student of TAC, what I'm hearing from you is all these defenses, all these mechanisms to actually not connect with somebody, but to be as close as possible and feel those things you want to feel, but not necessarily go to the next level. So there's hesitation. So that makes sense why you're choosing not to be motivated by the wantonness of being in a relationship.
I mean, the motivation to go find a relationship?
No,
that was the question you were asking me.
Well, the motivation to seek that out. Yeah. What wantonness is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. To want something.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So motivation to want a relationship.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, even if it was happening to happen, you still have these devices that are planted into your mechanism that are your go-to answers. There's a chance they might be deceptive. Well, I'm pretty good with reading people. And then the next thing you said is
my response was to your thing, because you're saying that their actions might not be
accurate.
So I said their words might not be accurate.
Yeah, but then I said, if you have that sense that they might not tell you the truth,
then you're in the wrong relationship.
You're in the wrong relationship.
And I agreed with you. But you said, I was just saying that your argument was that their actions could be false. I'm saying their words could be false.
Because you're not relying on communication in that. If you watch somebody and you assume what they are feeling, you are choosing not to communicate. And what's the most important thing in a relationship?
Communication.
Right? So you can comprehend. But how can you comprehend if you're not having you're not communicating? So there's no bearing if she's telling the truth or not through her actions. Because you're choosing not to care enough to have a conversation if you're just allowing yourself to assume you know what she's feeling.
And I agree with that.
Yeah,
my argument was just that my argument was that their words could be false as well as their actions, could be also false.
Yeah, but
that was the only thing that I was saying.
Yeah, but if you rely only on their actions, which is what your choice was.
No, it wasn't.
You said, well, I would know. You said I would know if they're giving me their time. And I said, why wouldn't you ask them? And you go, well, I have a good gut feeling about people. That's what you said. So I was just wondering, and then you gave that pushback. Oh, well, they could be lying to you. Yeah, but if you are relying on their actions as the conversation, you're not communicating.
I agree.
All right. So when would you ask her how she felt?
If it came up and
You're still choosing not to want to talk to her. If you are feeling a certain way,
if I was feeling a certain way,
yeah,
and I felt that if I was feeling a certain way, I would make it known and I would tell her.
Okay.
And then
but you still didn't ask her.
Which would incite the conversation to find out how she felt.
Okay. But when?
The moment I brought up the topic of, this is how I feel, how do you feel?
No, when would you bring it up? Like if like let's say you started.
You mean like during dinner while she's on the toilet? Like what do you mean?
Like let's say you're hanging out with a girl, hypothetically, and you're like, oh, I really like this woman. Oh wait, let me use your words. I really like this chick because you're from like the 30s or something. I really like this chick,
from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn. You like this woman. How long from that point till you tell her? Like what is it, 8 years, a day, 15 minutes, what?
The moment I realized that I was sure of my feelings. I don't know.
So it would look like this. Oh my God, I love her. Hey, babe, I'm calling you from my phone. I just want you to know. Yeah, I know you can smell it through the phone. It's bad. I realized that I like you. Hello? Mom? No. So the moment you realize you have feelings for her, you would go, how do you feel about me? Because I feel like this about you.
Yes.
Or would you say, I feel this way about you? Please bring it up on your end. Tell me how you feel about me. Or would you ask her, how do you feel about me? Do you feel the same like I do? Obviously, it'd be different, but do you feel some sort of romantic interest?
Not in those words. Yes, but probably just as awkward.
Would you wait for her to bring it up on her end, or would you dig in? Would you be like, this is how I feel, but I'm interested. Do you feel the same way? Or would you be like, I feel like this, and then you just stare at her, waiting for her to go, oh, I feel the same way? Or would you present the question to allow her to answer?
I don't know. I would have to be in the moment. I'm very terrible at these hypotheticals because you give me a situation, and
just use tack. That's it. That's how you practice tack. You have to role play tack.
Well, I'm terrible at this game.
How to say it, when to say it, and why to say it. But if you're telling a girl something, you need to understand your why. What is your end result? What is your motivation for that conversation? Your why. How to say it is you got to have direction. You got to be vague but informative, right? And then when to say it is obviously not when you're taking a dump. But if you say, well
that makes sense, because when you're taking a dump, that's a long meditation time.
I love you. Okay. But what I'm saying is you just said this is just good practice because your artist brain takes over in that sense too. It's when I say artist brain, it's like you're not choosing to be proactive. You're not choosing to have control over your choices and direction. And when you say, well, I don't know, I'm not in that situation, I don't know what I would say. But literally telling them how you feel and then presenting the question is having direction in your conversation, is the why, right? But also the communication is important too. So when you say, well, I don't know what I would do, I'm telling you how tack works. You would get points for that. Of course, you would have to do two things before that. What are the two things you think you would have to do before you had the right to say that?
Don't forget her birthday.
Always forget her birthday.
And foot massage.
No, the first thing is you check out to see what signs you are. No. All right, then you're gonna get some witch hazel. We're compatible because we're talking to each other and not punching one another in the face. You must be an Aries. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
That's very
God. I'm
good.
crying.
Get some more cheese. And not that cheap stuff out of the store. You gotta
Oh,
grow it yourself.
God.
No, there are two things that you should be going for, right? That vague but informative is you're trying to understand her motivations before you bring out your motivations. So you don't at conversation with her, you with conversation with her. And there's certain things you could do. For example, when I was with a girl and I knew she was lying to me about cheating, she'd always ask me, what movie do you want to watch? So I'd always watch a movie that was based around cheating. And then what would she do? She would cry at every movie, but she had never cried. And I was like, all right, the pattern change, I know. And then I started asking her, hey, are you cheating? And she'd say no again. And I was like, oh, and then we watch another movie. And I'd make sure they were cheating in the movie. And she'd cry again. And then one day she came out and she says, I've been cheating on you. I was like, I know. And she's like, you don't sound mad. I was like, why would I be mad? I've already been aware. It's not like hitting me. I'm not getting hit in the face with this. This is like, well, why didn't you leave me? Well, because I'm not going to base it off on assumptions. I needed you to tell me the truth. Well, how do you know I'm not telling you a lie right now?
Why would you lie about that?
Because you're crying. And then she's like, please don't break up with me. And I was like, well,
You
I have
lied.
to. You lied. I can't be with, that's my boundary. I can't be with liars. So those are the things, like, you can set the tone of conversations. You could present the vague but informative aspects to see how she reacts to certain things or what she says about certain things. You could also bring up conversations like, don't touch me.
That's a wonderful conversation.
Hey, babe, don't touch me. You could bring up things like, things that you want in a relationship without saying this is what I want in a relationship. Even if you're like, oh, look, kids, I wish they'd all get hit with cars. And then she's like, me too. And you're like, I want to marry this girl, but I don't believe in marriage. Now I gotta make fun of marriage. Look at these idiots getting married. Yeah, marriage is stupid. Will you be my girl forever? And then you're like, oh, but I'm poly, so I gotta be like, oh, look at all those guys and girls hanging out together in one big happy relationship. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Will you be one of my girls?
Would be one of my metaphorical wives.
I love you. And then you could say, hey, I'm really into you. How do you feel about me? And then she's like, get away from me. Also, the second thing is you need to know them.
Yes.
Yeah, don't go up to strangers that looked at you by accident because they sneezed. Oh, she wants me. Hey, I like you. I have feelings for you. I had this whole life in my head pass by when I saw you, and I was like, oh, we're going to get married and where you go? Have you ever had that situation where, like, you saw a girl and just had, like, this whole life flash before your eyes and you're like, I should talk to her, but you've already gone through divorce and you're you already married, you went through all the dates, the marriage, you had 3 kids, you lost the house, you divorced her, you hated it, but you're like, oh, but that beginning was so good. I need to talk to her.
No,
me either. God, she's so gorgeous. Oh yeah, we're gonna have great. Oh, look at our kids and marriage. Then she's gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat too. And then she craps on my bed and smash my car. Why would she smash my car? This is horrible. I'm divorcing her.
And on that,
I should go talk to her.
I'm motivated to have dinner.
Talk to her. Anyway, all right, that's it. Look, I don't make this stuff up.
I make up a good chunk of it.
Yeah, the dog definitely makes up 100% of it, and it's mostly because I'm the smarts.
I'm the hearts.
Yeah, and the dog is clearly
all the farts.
In the beginning of the show, it definitely was he farted with his mouth. Hey,
guys,
we're out of here. I'm out of here. Oh, I forgot to hit record.
Oh.
Okay, bye.
Click.